cool.
Oh, DC, you went?
Mm-hmm. All right, here we go.
Welcome to the show. Let's see what has been happening in the wrestling world. Welcome to the show, where comedy meets wrestling by fan for fan. The 2 Count. Always the best guests in Midwest. The 2 Count. Great time guaranteed because we're the best of the best. Meet Phoenix and JR. Top Shelf Tommy, we're about to start. Welcome to the 2 Count. It's time to dig deep into the wrestling world. Welcome to the 2 Count, where comedy meets wrestling by fans for fans. The 2 Count.
The 2 Count. The 2 Count. Where comedy meets wrestling. Please comment, share, like, and start a hype train for God's sakes. And now, here are the hosts of the 2 Count. Comedian John Russell, wrestling broadcaster Big Ace, and everybody's favorite heel, Top Shelf Tommy.
Yes, it's too. Oops, I got to get that off of there. You know how it is. You know how it is. Oh, come on, Mello. Give me a chance.
Wow.
There we go.
Mello's yellow. Jello.
Mellow Jello.
There's so many people I know.
His full name's Archangelo.
I knew it was Archangelo.
Archangelo. So it's Archangelo, and then we just say Jello because some people can't say Archangelo.
Archangelo. I can say that. I can say your name.
Perfectly. Yeah. So if you can't say it fully, you can just say Jello. Are you leaving? The show just started, man. Yeah. Hang
you
on
can
for
be
a
a
little
star.
bit.
He's
Yeah,
like, first of all, we did it, everybody.
We got rid of Tom.
We did it, everybody.
Finally.
Gone forever.
People don't realize, when we. That's right. We did exactly that, and that's what Tom did the whole way out.
Yep.
No, you don't realize when we said we were going to class up the show, we were going to get rid of some dead weight. And ladies and gentlemen, Tom is actually, I can't do it. Tom is getting the car, so he'll be joining us here in a little bit. But our good friend, Tim Nela, and Archangelo Nela. Hello, Archangelo. How are you?
Hey, you got to wave to him. Say what's up.
Hello.
He gonna pick up here soon. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
He recognizes you guys.
How old is he?
It will be 16 months next Tuesday. So time is flying.
So how old till you bring little man to his first wrestling show?
You know what? I wanted to bring him on Sunday, but then I got nervous about that. Realistically, I'm ready. If it's up to me, I'll do it right now. I mean, what's the rules, right? There is no rules. Because I don't know if you guys remember, I used to put the AirPods on the belly when he was.
Oh yeah.
Home. Yeah, remember that? So I mean, he's locked in. He already knows.
Yeah, this summer might happen then. You might have to do it this summer. Even though Tommy hates kids at wrestling shows, he will preach that. But who cares what Tommy thinks?
Tommy hates everything.
This is true. Tommy does hate a lot of things. He probably hates the car he's buying right now. So
yeah.
Yeah. By the way, everybody out there, Twitch, YouTube watching, get in the chat room, say hello, and share the link, everybody. Let them know what we have going on. So Timmy and I, Tim, I saw you Sunday night, which, by the way, these Sunday night house shows, man, at least started at 5.
Yeah.
It was a little after 10 getting out of the Civic Center on Sunday, JR. And I mean, that's old men over here, you know?
Yeah, but you guys live in Rochester, so you got a 35, 45-minute drive to get home.
Nah, it was just too.
You hop in the car, it's 10 minutes. Everything's 10 minutes in Roch.
Yeah, but I mean, I don't think the show should, because a lot of it was kids, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it was the perfect show to bring your kids in. I didn't bring Jello, but I didn't bring you, I know. But the way I look at it is, I mean, yeah, Ace is right. We got to leave earlier, because like I got home around 11. I had a 4 a.m. wake up, and I'm just going, what am I doing? But it is what it is. Got it done. What's up, big man?
I mean, yeah, it was late. I think they did the last one they were here. That was a little earlier, but it was also like Easter Sunday, so odd. But yeah, so WWE rolled through Rochester, JR. Me and Tim were there. First of all, Tim, what'd you think of that setup? That was a different setup we've ever seen at a house show.
It was way better than the one we went to last time. And you know what? I had no complaints about the show whatsoever. I thought everything about it was great. I just seen it today, the Seth Rollins trash can when he hit Theory with the trash can. That went viral. Seth Rollins even shared it on his I believe on his Twitter. And so I mean, like, no, I think everything about it was great. The seating was awesome. I really don't think there was a bad seat in the house. The matches were entertaining. I think they did a damn good job. That was me though.
I liked it. Like, I remember how many years ago was it that the first house show I went to, where it was at the Civic Center here in town, and they actually had a little screen. And I was like, oh, wow, man. Usually they don't even have those here at these house shows. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
And it's turned into a full-on, like, little Titantron.
No,
it was
legit.
When you go to these house shows. Like, it's, yeah. I'm trying to pull up, guys, my
your video,
the 2 Count Instagram, just so because I think I posted a lot on there that night.
What kind of snacks did they have there, or were you relegated to getting the Civic Center snacks?
They had shitty snacks, JR. It's the Civic Center.
But I mean, I think it was actually pretty reasonable. The popcorn wasn't bad. I had popcorn. I mean, I just, me, man. I just indulged when I went out there, and they had good merchandise out there. It was completely different than I remember from. I think you and I had went probably like 5 years ago to a house show, and it was nothing like this. Yeah, look at this. Look at that setup.
So I mean, yeah, that whole thing was like the screen too. Like, this poor lady thought I was taping her, so she was like, "Oh, let me get out of your way." I'm like, "I'm not even." Whatever, lady.
Shut up. Shut up.
Yeah. Let's see. What else did I have on here? This is
DC. Your nephew introduced me to one of his friends. I think he said that I used to play pro football, and I wasn't going to correct him. I just took it. I stood there and I was just kind of. I didn't say yes. I didn't say no.
Well,
but I wasn't going to say nothing.
This is what happens when you dig your nose into your phone 24/7 like that. I mean, he was watching videos on his phone while at the Civic Center. Like, I don't get it. I don't. Every show we've ever been to, he's watching videos on his phone, and it's like, all you got to do is look up, and there's an actual show happening in person in front of you. What the hell? Anyways, this is
Super Show. Huh? Super Show.
It was the Super Show. WWE Holiday Super Show. So right here you got, what's this? Who was this? This was Liv Morgan, Candice LeRae, Bianca Belair versus Damage Control. Io, is it Sky or Cherie now? I can't remember.
Io Sky.
Okay,
there you go.
Sky, Dakota Kai, and of course, one of the best, Bailey.
Did you go to Raw too, Sammy?
Well, let us know, because the house show was a lot of fun. I enjoyed Raw last night. I actually watched all 3 hours. I got to show you guys this. Tim, did you see this guy there?
Yeah, this malnourished Santa Claus. I see him.
Drunk Santa Claus was at the Civic Center. And like kids, people were taking pictures with like their kids were like, they're like, go take a picture with Santa. And it's like, this motherfucker's got 2 beers in his hand. He's been here for an hour. He's already been like 4 or 5 deep. Like, don't send your kids to take a picture with this dirty drunk Santa. Like, what are we doing?
Did you see the Money in the Bank guy that had probably like 4 belts around his waist? You had to have seen him. I think he had like a white suit on. This man had 4 belts, had the Money in the Bank briefcase. I'm talking like this man, he had it all.
I don't get those people, man. I don't get those people. JR, you've been to a show. No, you haven't either, actually, now that I think about it. I ditched my title before we started this, but I had a title, like a belt. I had the big gold belt, Goldie. And when I first got it, I was like, I'm going to be one of those guys, right? I'm going to take it to the show. Yeah. The only thing that happens is that you do get a lot of attention because everyone's like, oh, look at the belt. And if in your section, everybody around you wants to see it, and then like the little kids are looking at it, and the parents are like, "Oh, look at the belt." So then you're like, "Oh, the little kid can hold it," or whatever. But then you just get tired of holding on to that damn thing all night.
I may have 4 belts.
Yeah, I don't get those guys. When you go to like WrestleMania week, you'll see guys that literally all you see is it's like a walking title belt because all you see is their head. You know what I mean? They got them like around their neck, 3 up here, each arm.
I got to tell you guys something real quick because it just happened. So I'm so invested in this conversation and what we have going on. Like I said, my wife was out here with a friend. Jilla just ran off. This house kind of just burned down right now. My wife did run up here because she was cooking something, and you could smell. I can smell the smoke now, but this entire time I'm sitting here just invested talking to you guys. I have zero clue what's going on. She runs up right now. This pan is like burnt to death right now. She's opening the screen door as we speak, and I haven't moved. I should grab this. I should grab this pot right now. Babe, I just want to show it to him. No, I don't want. Okay, let me show you.
Go
what
ahead.
happened.
You're good. Is Kenny Omega on Dark?
Yeah.
He is. I see him. This is how much I love you guys. Look at this.
Oh my gosh!
And I'm so oblivious to what's happening. Like, this is going down as we're having this conversation. She comes over right now. Look at this thing. It's done for. I mean, like you said, if she's such a sweetheart and angel, if she didn't run up right now, this house would be up in smoke, and I'd be sitting here still talking to you guys because I wouldn't even know that this just went down. This is some top shelf stuff right here.
Zach, we're doing basically what we're doing. Well, he's coming, but we're going to do. We're Elon Musk in this. We're going to take a vote and see if you guys would rather have Tim Nella or Top Shelf Tom.
That's an easy one. I'll take top shelf all day.
Here's the deal, though. When he does hop on, everybody act like we stuck to he was gone forever, just so he's like, what? No, he's buying a car. His car's shit out. He was telling me that this weekend. Tommy was hosting in town, so not only did I get to see an awesome wrestling show, I got to go see Tommy do some comedy.
How'd he do?
He did great. I don't remember the features act. He was good. Sentho, he was good. Headliner guy killed it. Hilarious. And
Ron Fingold, very good.
Yeah. Good to see Mark. Good to see Goonies up and going again. Ran into Megan Kennedy.
Oh, no kidding.
I ended up sitting with her, and sounds like there might be a mini radio reunion when Mr. JR comes down and headlines at Goonies in January.
That'll be fun.
Yeah, I told her, though. I was like, JR's going to have to check on one name. Because I want to go
to is it 2?
Show. I want to go to the opposite show of that person.
Is it 1 or is it 2, though? 1 name or 2 names?
Would there be a second?
Well, I mean, you had issue with somebody else other than your wrestling cohort.
Oh, yeah, but I can ignore that one.
Oh, okay.
We got a date set for that, JR?
20th and 21st.
All right.
Of January.
Goonies Comedy Club. Take the wife out, Timmy.
That's a week before Mania. I mean, not Mania, the Rumble. I'm sorry.
Yes. Mm-hmm. Yes, Timmy, we have big plans for the Rumble. I'll fill you in when we're not on air because we haven't announced it yet. Actually, did we?
No, I don't think we really did. I mean, we've sort of hinted around at it. But before you do that, I was thinking about this, and I don't know if there's enough time to do this, but I was thinking, since we had a guest scheduled that had to bow out for next week, something that would be really fun, in my opinion, would be to get all of our wrestling friends from wherever they're from, because we can get a whole pile of people on here, and just have them come through and give their 5 most shocking things of 2022, the 5 happiest things of 2022, and then 5 predictions for 2023. I think that'd be fun to have our friends that are wrestlers come on, our friends that have been on like Timmy, some of the comics that have been on with us. I think that'd be a lot of fun.
We can certainly do that.
And Zach takes he was.
He gets so excited, Tim, and then his mic just shuts itself off.
I know it's. I'm clipping. I think.
You may be the smartest man on Twitch, JR. That's a really good idea.
Quit
I
yelling.
guarantee you that.
Quit yelling.
I'm not yelling.
Then why you keep clipping?
I don't know what that. I don't know.
Get a better mic, JR.
This mic has
This
served me well.
This reminds me when Ace and I first started doing a podcast together 5 years ago,
Yeah.
where I didn't understand what levels were. Ace did, I didn't. And so Ace is constantly just turning down my levels because I get way too excited. And so then seeing you get excited right now, it just brings me back to those days. That was 5 years ago. We were recording at a freaking shoe shop, in a store, in a closet. Remember that?
The only time I did that I didn't care about levels when we did that show was when our friend Nora brought the animals over, and her and Nick let that stupid snake just roam loose in the store.
Stupid.
Tim and I are both like, "What are you doing? Pick it
Yeah.
up. Pick it up." Tim was on top of a chair. I froze. I couldn't move. I was like, "Pick it up. Pick it up."
Ace legitimately froze. I'm on top of. I said, "We're recording a show live, and you got a snake just roaming around here." You know what I mean? It made no sense.
And it was coming at us.
It was
coming to us because we were on that side of the room, and it was coming. And I even told them, like, no snakes allowed. Yeah.
Bad news. Snakes.
Stupid Nick. I should have known better. Anyways, let's real quick while we're waiting for Tommy to get in here. Let's run through what we saw Sunday night, Timmy. So that was that first. That was the opening match. Holy crap! Did we get? It was like what 6-man tag match. There was just a regular tag match. There was a couple mixed tag matches. Like everything seemed to be some sort of tag match Sunday night.
Yeah, I mean, do you think that they're gonna start leaning towards getting like a trios belt too, possibly? Because I've never seen so many 6-man tag team matches for WWE. We got 2 at a house show.
It's been a lot.
And then they had one on Raw too, didn't they?
2. Well, no, 1.
1.
You know what? What they may be doing is they may just be positioning so that because AEW has made such a big deal out of this trio's titles, right? And I think they're misusing it. Just my opinion. I think probably WWE is doing so many of them to make them seem less important. We do them all the time, you know. And I don't think they're good. I wouldn't think they would put titles on because they seem to be trying to condense every title they have. So
true. Well, something I noticed too about this house show that was kind of different than most is, house shows used to kind of be like, okay, you guys have a program, you're going to be working it for a while, so y'all going to be doing the house shows so you can put together your TV matches. That's where they're working the stuff out, is on the house shows, so then it's ready to go on TV. We had completely mixed roster at this show. This was a super show. So when we had Damage Control out there, and I get that they're the tag champs, right? They're still the tag champs, Dakota and Io. So I get that they can kind of hop around because of that. But I mean, it was Liv. It was Liv, Candice LeRae, who I don't think was advertised for that show. So that was a cool surprise. And then Bianca, which... Then we saw Damage Control not involved with any of them because Liv and Candice are SmackDown. So it was just kind of weird. Like, it was like, well, this isn't... It was just a little different. Like, we also saw Otis...
Gunther versus AJ Styles.
Yeah, Gunther versus AJ Styles we saw, which was great. That's true. Why not?
Yeah, you're right.
Dude, Bloodline was there, and that was great too, though. It was really good, actually. Sammy is great.
So was it everybody but Roman?
Yeah. Which he's still hurt, right? Like, that's why he hasn't gone back in the ring. He's still kind of coming back. Plus, they have this next week WWE shows are going to be like Friday night. It will be a live show. Monday is not, because aren't they letting talent off for like the week or something? Wasn't that talked about? And they decided to give them holiday off.
Maybe.
So Raw's like a playback. I guess it's the best of 2022.
Oh, well, that's where, you know what? There's nothing wrong with that.
I mean, I was telling JR, and we'll get into this as we talk about Raw. Well, just WWE in home. We can get into it, I guess, because saw that house show. But I mean, one of the biggest and strongest things they have going right now, and Timmy's got the head of table shirt on, and it's the bloodline. It's Reigns, but the thing that shines the most out of this whole thing is Sami Zayn. He's almost overshadowed at this point the whole who's going to take the title off of Reigns conversation. No one really is talking about that right now. It's all about Sammy. Yeah, you're cutting out again.
We can't hear you, JR. Oh, we gotta get that mute. But no, so while we're waiting for him, I completely agree with you. Yeah, he's just talking. We can't hear a thing he's saying. But yeah, no, it's crazy to think how over Sammy has gotten over this whole thing, because I think initially I don't think anybody's seen it becoming this big of a deal, right?
Yeah, no one saw it.
I believe it was supposed to be just a real short-term thing, and it just blew up. It's kind of like Miro Day in a way.
Yeah,
Miro Day, Rusev Day. Jeez, see, they can't do this to me.
There's no such thing as Miro Day because Miro's not on TV ever.
I know.
And that's a frustrating thing with like an AEW right now. Is
another travesty.
How do you not have anything to do with Miro right now? Why are you letting this man sit?
So since you just said AEW, you said Miro. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just read something yesterday that FTR is leaving and heading back to WWE.
I mean, it's possible.
I think their contract is up very very shortly here. I mean, there's no reason they didn't hold the titles in WWE, if I'm not mistaken, correct? So, I mean, that for them to win that title, I would say that might take precedence over winning the AEW title back again. And then now they've won everything.
Well, because and they're Triple H boys. You know what I mean? They're Triple H hires, so things are different over there. I mean, we talked about it last week. The Vince McMahon statement of wanting to try to get himself back in WWE, and he should have never left in the first place, and just the immediate reaction that you were hearing about what the backstage reaction was and how it was. No, that can't happen. So, I mean, yeah, that's a very likely move for them. I could see that happening. And we haven't had you on, Tim, since this has all happened. Like, you haven't been on the show since a post Vince McMahon WWE era. So, I mean, what do you think of that? Let us know in the chat room, everybody, what you guys think of this. But what's your thoughts so far on Triple H basically DX coming in and taking over all of WWE?
Well, so realistically, just think about it this way. So, like, back to that FTR conversation, then I'll get to that one, though. What they said with that one is they're going to be coming back, and they're setting it up for them against the Usos at Mania. And then with them losing to the Briscoes just last weekend, they're slowly dropping those belts just to make it easier so when they do leave. And that's what the article had said. But now back to what this whole Vince conversation. What up, Top Shelf?
What's up, Tim Nela? It still works, right? Tim Nela, Top Shelf. It's all in.
Hey, we two peas in the pod. I did this for you, Top Shelf, because last time I was on the show, I had to get off early because I went to this Timberwolves game, which I'm telling my son Jello that they won the championship that night. The way they celebrated, and
that's true.
They were okay, but no. So real quick though, so back to Vince. Vince needs to stay away because what Triple H and DX is technically have done now is the people that Vince didn't want. He's made them relevant because we knew they were going to be relevant. Karrion Kross went from being a jobber, essentially. I mean, really, if you think about it, I mean, he lost that first match to Jeff Hardy in, was it less than a minute? I don't even know what it was, but it was terrible. He just brought Bronson Reed back last night. You know what I mean? So it's like all these people that Vince just made it seem as if these people were nothing. Triple H is making them, I mean, Johnny Gargano. I mean, we could keep naming off names of people that Vince wanted nothing to do with. And a guy like Vince, realistically, man, he's got too much on his plate right now. Last thing he needs to be doing is worrying about WWE. Realistically, I mean, that's my take on it. I'm not a fan of Vince personally, but that's just me.
Yeah, I mean, I don't. I would love to see the revolt happen if he came back. Like after hearing everybody just freaked out backstage about that one. Tom, what'd you buy?
I got myself an Outback.
Oh, that's Top Shelf Subaru.
See, there you go.
Timmy sold Subarus for many years.
You'll have to start wearing flannel, though.
I mean,
hey, I drive a Subaru too, Tom.
Yeah, I don't know why these guys are giving me a hard time about this, or like why JR thinks I don't already make a joke about me looking like a lesbian and shit like that. So if I wasn't wearing their hat, man, come on, man, like for real, it's a haircut worthy of a lesbian, a beard worthy of a lesbian too. Shut up, JR, you fuck.
Hey, you're the one saying it, not me.
I know, that's why I had to go that way. But no, it's not a brand new Outback, but went in, paid cash, got it off the lot, and got it home. So
nice.
That's a flex right there, Top Shelf. That's a flex.
Did you say brand new?
No, I said it's not new.
Oh,
not new. I mean, if I was paying cash for a brand new Subaru, like that's fucking breaking the bank kind of money right there, buddy. So, but still going in, paying cash for it. Doing the damn thing, like just making sure that Top Shelf life is really being lived as much as I can.
Makes you feel good, doesn't it, though? To have a car you can depend on.
It's pretty sweet. You got $2,000 in your hand, right?
Oh, Ace, I know that you've never seen anything more than a couple of thousands, but you keep that kind of shit to yourself there, okay? Otherwise, we start talking about how your fucking Cowboys lost to the fucking Jaguars. Your team lost to Tony Khan, you fuck.
We still beat you guys by like 37 points.
Sure. Apparently, everybody has one game or one good half against the Vikings. So go fuck yourself, Ace.
Oh no! We had a good two halves that game.
You did. Yeah.
Largest comeback in NFL history, Ace. I mean, I can't take that from them. That was amazing.
Oh, I'm not taking it away. All I'm trying to make the point of is I didn't kick any shit. So
I'll be real honest with you. With what happened on Saturday, I genuinely thought that was going to happen that Sunday against the Cowboys too, that they were going to come back because it is still the Cowboys. So
no, what's going to happen though is because it is true Cowboy fashion. We'll beat Philly this week though.
Yeah, you'll beat Philly, and then you'll be still like the 5th seed or something like that, and then
Philly
end up losing to the Buccaneers or some shit.
Philly has to lose out, and we have to win out to kick them out of that position. So,
yeah, good luck with that one.
Oh, it's not gonna happen.
Nah, Jalen Hurts ain't playing though, so possibly.
Yeah, we'll take it. We'll take it.
Of course you will.
Hey, also Cooper Rush beat you guys. So
yeah, last year
2 quarterbacks that can.
Yeah, I lost the bets. I know how it happened, man. But, let me celebrate it now and still dog you about the fact that your team lost to the fucking Jacksonville Jaguars.
I would take that loss over if they would actually lost the week before to Houston.
Well, that's true.
I actually that Houston game, dude, that Houston game when it hit a minute and a half, and they got that interception. I shut it off and I drove to Aldi's like, fuck it, I'm going grocery shopping. Why did I sit around all day? I get to Aldi's and I go inside and I look at my fantasy thing and I see Pollard and I saw that they won. So then I look back and I'm like, what the fuck happened? Yeah. So
I love the fact though, the whole thing, it's like I turned it off and drove to Aldi's. It's like that's what you do. Yeah. You just drive to Aldi's. Whenever anything's going bad, fuck that noise. Let's go to Aldi's.
No way, man. I suffer through everything. That Vikings Cowboys game this year, I suffered through the whole fucking thing, man. I sat there and just yep. I mean, it sucks, but hey.
Yeah, man.
You watched the whole game on Saturday?
No, actually, I was busy trying to fix my old fucking car, and then that's when it took a shit on me. So then I was like, all right, well, I guess we're buying a new one next week. So here we go.
Speaking of that, so back in the day, I used to suffer through, let's say, like a shitty episode of Raw. I'd watch the whole thing thinking it was going to get better. I used to, but now I have no tolerance for it. I really don't. Like if the first hour, which is supposed to be the money hour, but is garbage, I'm not going to watch that 8 to 9 period because there's still days where I'm like 3 hours is way too long for Raw.
There's a lot of times I'm like that too. I mean, even when we went to the one at XL back in October or whatever.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Fucking, if you're not live, it's almost insufferable to try and watch that shit on TV now because of how many fucking breaks and then how long the fucking segments are with promos and shit. It's just.
I was telling this to JR though. We can get into it right now if any of you watched last night. But last night was the first time in a long time that I watched all 3 hours, and it actually kept my interest all 3 hours.
I'll tell you what. I'm curious if Hayes Dog is still there because I know he was at the show, and we talked about this too. It's totally different to watch it on television than to be there. I think. Again, I'll go back to it. I think we were so lucky to have seen that SmackDown when that was so close to being, the first one from the pandemic, and having them have stuff for the audience to pay attention to and participate with. Whereas now I think it's just sit there and suffer because we're not here for you. We're here. We're doing a TV show, and you happen to be here.
Right.
Yeah, I think seeing some new faces popping up in WWE so quickly since Triple H took over, though, I feel like that might be him like getting ready to hopefully start kind of packing the program again, kind of like the Attitude Era. But you got to get those pieces in place first. I was telling JR, I enjoyed it. Like the only thing last night that really came on right that I was like, whatever, was the opening match, and that was Judgment Day against Street Profits with Tozawa, which ended up being a great segment with Tozawa being involved. He really held that, like, and I love them, I really do, but like, Street Profits, it's just doesn't do none for me. And like at this point, I really want to see Dawkins fucking turn and just take Ford out. That's all I wanted. I was yelling it all night Sunday while they were in the ring. All night, I was just yelling as loud as I could. Dawkins, turn on Ford already. Knock him out. Like, I think Dawkins is such a talent in the ring. They both are. But I think Dawkins has, like, the look, carries himself where it's like, oh, Tommy froze. Where, like, I could see him have a solid singles run.
You're the first person that said that, though, that I've been around, because everybody I talk to is so high on Ford. They're so high on Ford. They're saying he has the look. They're saying he has the charisma. They're saying all these things. But what you just said there, I'm a Dawkins fan too. I think he's really underrated because he's actually really good in the ring.
Amazing.
He's amazing in the ring. He's athletic. And, I mean, I just think the energy that Ford brings is probably why people are just so attracted to him. But, I mean, I wouldn't even thought of Dawkins turning on him. But, I mean, that wouldn't be bad either.
You two got anything to say?
I just
go ahead, Tom.
No. I'll age before beauty. Go ahead.
I was just going to say I agree with you guys, and I think it's clear that at this point Dawkins needs to be pushed more than
Ford.
You just said his name. You just said his fucking name, and I can't think of him. He's married to fucking
Montez Ford.
Montez Ford.
God damn it! It's Ford. It's so easy to say. Anyway,
fucking car, dude.
I know, dude.
Tom could have bought a Ford today, but he bought an Outback.
I was gonna say
letters.
Outback, and I got all fucked. Anyway, but the point is, Ford is. I think at the point where he doesn't need that help. So if they did split up, I just feel like Ford will go on about his business. But I think Dawkins needs that extra push at this point in order to make him more relevant, because the outset, it doesn't appear that he can stand on his own, even though we all know that he can.
Just so you know, Tommy, JR's mic cuts in and out a little bit tonight, so just so you know.
Oh, I was actually listening on my way back to my place, trying to, not jump in here without having a clue of what's happening. So I heard it. It's unfortunate, but it is JR's technology, so it's old, just like him. I'm so far over Street Profits right now. It's just kind of ridiculous at this point. I wasn't a huge fan of them anyways in NXT or anything else. Even with the call up, I was like, nah, still not really into them. I get what you're doing with them, but I think that both of these guys are better than what that team is by like a long shot, because I think that team has a cap. You can't have them be like, in my mind, it almost kind of felt like you were setting them up to be a new day, if you will, right? Because, Tim's here. So like, honestly, where it's, it's two more black wrestlers paired together to be a tag team. And I don't think WWE knows how to really push black wrestlers that well. I genuinely believe just like, hey, well, we got these two guys that are coming into the performance center, so let's put them together. It's like, yeah, but you could do so much more with these guys, especially independent right now, because they both have a lot of talent and they really should be on their own, because I just don't think this tag team works. You haven't really allowed them to win a title and see how they do with a reign. So I say split them up and just let them go their separate ways and fucking beat the shit, man. Just go to fuck it down, dude.
I mean, Top Shelf, you're not wrong, because speaking from as a brother, you're 100% right, where realistically, it's not going to work. It's just not going to work because they're way too talented to be stuck in this box that they're in right now. And the thing with the New Day, the reason why the New Day worked is because they legitimately just did their own thing. They just did their own thing and they ran with it. Initially, the New Day was a joke. I remember the first time I seen a New Day promo, I was like, this is, because as a black man, I was offended. I was going, this is comical. Like, what are they doing? And then I was watching the Nerdish episode, and Nerdy was really big on guys like Shelton Benjamin, and because he's African American as well too, he's a brother. He's looking at it the same way. Where he's going, this is a guy that's talented. He's not being pushed. But I think you're 100% right. I don't know why they constantly do that. And even it takes me back to Harlem Heat, where Stevie Ray and Booker T, it was, but then eventually we knew Booker T had to leave because it just, you're bumping heads together. You know what I'm saying? Like, you get to a point where you just say, we can't just continue to keep doing this. You're forcing it. It's just not going to work.
Right. I mean, I'm not really, I guess, in the place to always bring up a race card, if you will, but I think, thank you. Yeah. As a ginger, I suppose maybe I get a little bit of, no, I fully believe that, because we saw it with Hurt Business, you collaborate and you bring a whole bunch of black guys together. You're really almost seeing with MVP and almost right now, like, hey, we don't know what to do with this giant black man, so let's pair him up with a guy who can talk and is charismatic. I just, from my perspective, looking at how everybody treats black wrestlers, it seems like WWE is one of these ones where it's like, we know that they should be champions, and it's great that Kofi, I mean, it's not great how Kofi lost the title, but it's great that he won the title. It's great that Big E won the title. But I just really, truly believe that they don't know what to do with them past a certain point. It almost feels like it's almost a token title reign for a lot of these guys. And I'm not saying that Dawkins or Ford is going to have that, but it just really feels like if it's not The Rock or Booker T, they don't know what to do as far as the singles run right now. And I just don't. It's so easy. All these guys are charismatic. All these guys are talented. All these guys can work and have a great moveset. And most of these guys are very good on the mic too. So it shouldn't be hard to get them to a level where if they are a champion, no one should think to themselves, oh, this fucking feels weird.
Think about it though too,
because I just don't think WWE especially knows how to push that.
But honestly, is it just WWE? Because you think about this Swerve in Our Glory thing over at AEW. I mean, that clearly didn't work. We watched it unfold on TV because the entire time we just knew it was not going to work. And they eventually had to split them up because it wasn't going to work. I mean, you had two, like you said, you take two black guys, you go, okay, well, these guys are black. We may as well just partner up. And it's 2022, damn near 2023. At this point now, you may as well just put a black guy and a white guy together because that's much more realistic in my eyes than just having two black guys together. Realistically, I'm serious.
I was going to mention
we tease like. Well, hold on, John. This is why I was kind of we were Ace and I were teasing Team Fancy Ketchup as far as putting two redheads together. Seems kind of like the same kind of idea, right? Like just hey, these guys look similar. Like, ta-da. Like what the fuck are you doing, man? Everybody can see through this shit, man. But
I was going to say, what I was going to say was when you think about it, there have been in my mind that I can think of relevant tag teams that were a black guy and a white guy, Rock and Sock, APA, and then I dropped my voice because I can't think of anybody else.
Well, and I can't remember what they were called. It was the Rascals, but then NXT they were something different. Tag champs till the white dude turned out to be like a Nazi or some shit.
Yeah, I remember that guy.
It'd always be the white dude.
Yeah.
Well, sure. I mean, who else really be a Nazi other than a white guy? I mean, let's be real here.
But like, yeah, it was them, and then that's what was it with Booker T and Goldust? There's a good call.
Oh, yeah.
Badger.
Yeah.
What was it with Owen Hart? Was it Owen Hart and Too Cold Scorpio?
Well, Owen was in the Nation of Domination.
Yeah, he was in that.
Owen's
it was Coco Beware.
Coco Beware.
Coco Beware. That was it.
Yeah,
that was it.
Because they both were
like
the bright colors of like.
Yeah, what was their name? Was it like
that faction was? Oh my gosh!
Wasn't it like the New Heart Foundation or some shit?
No, it was.
Someone Google that in the chat room for us, please.
I was just watching something on them. High energy.
Yeah, High Energy. Toxic got it. Of course, Toxic got it. Knows it all. Going like way back in the middle of what you were saying, Tommy. You mentioned the Hurt Business. We see MVP on Raw this week. There's rumors that Bobby, they've been pushing to get the Hurt Business back together, which wouldn't be a horrible idea, honestly. So let's see what happens with that. I was telling JR though, like Tozawa, really though, he shined last night. He's not as well. First of all, they took the karate outfit off him. I'm gonna wear his wrestling gear again. So thank you for that. And he was just. I don't know. He was a good fit in that whole segment last night, and he really helped make Rhea shine even more than she has. And like Toxic said, that has to be the closest we've gotten to a, newer era intergender match on WWE television. Granted,
rest your soul.
Right. Granted, poor Tozawa didn't get one lick of offense in there, but could you guys have imagined though? Like, I don't think anybody watching the product was going to be like, "Oh my god!" And honestly, I was telling JR this. I was on Twitter during Raw last night, and like everybody was just like, "Would someone just punch her already?" Like, I don't even care if it's Tozawa. Like, someone just needs to punch Rhea, man. And like it was clear. It's like they're building this up that if they ever had one of these guys actually get in a match with her and actually land one offensive move, like the place is gonna pop. And really, I think the credit goes to Dominic Mysterio for being her bitch. Because me and JR were talking about it. Rhea has that presentation of it's like, and you said the smile that she has when she's inside, and it's the I'm gonna do what I want. You can't stop me. And you look at her and you're like, no, you're right. I can't stop you. Yeah. And like I told JR, Nerd D was on point when he said in person, wow.
I seen her on Sunday night, man. Wow.
Yeah. pretty
She the real
lady right
deal.
there. That's a pretty lady, and yeah, she could kick any of our asses. So,
But do we just forget that Randy Orton RKO'd Nia Jax?
this is true,
Yeah.
but that wasn't a match, though, was it?
No,
But that was an
Rumble.
RKO.
It was Rumble. See, but like that's the thing. We've had these Rumbles, which we've had what? China, Beth Phoenix, Nia Jax. I think we've had someone else too. Was Jazz or like Victorian one?
No, Awesome Kong. Which
yeah.
WWE debut.
Which that was.
I mean, I don't remember what they called her. Karma or something.
Yeah, Karma. Yeah. Man, yeah, it was. I didn't think they were even going to do the match on Raw, honestly. The way Tozawa was like, no, and then Street Profits were just goading him into it. Like, come on, man, you gonna let her touch you like that? You gonna let her touch you? Which, by the way, it looked like she knocked him a good one when she walked up the rampway at him. But dude, the Judgment Day without Rhea Ripley would be shit.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, because you got rid of. I mean, I like Finn, but he's not as charismatic as an Edge. And so when you change the dynamic of the group like that, right? You should. I mean, Finn can hold his own, but they've repealed his Prince side, if you will, right? So Prince Devitt was a charismatic guy and could lead these people. But really, Rhea is the leader of Judgment Day. I don't care what people say as far as who actually owns the group or is the official leader. If she's not there, Ace, you're completely right, and that hurts my soul to say that. But she is genuinely the reason people watch that. One, yes, she's very attractive. Two, you genuinely believe that she can kick the shit out of any man. And then three, she has control directly over at least one of the members, if not all of them. So she's way more appealing than the rest of the group. And there's a lot of talent there with at least two of the three other members. And I'll let everybody else decide who those two of the three I was talking about are. We did. So what's going on?
I didn't know if anybody else had to add to that one. Yeah, like it's just reruns that show. We move on. Raw had some other good stuff though. We'll talk about Bliss. I think that was a big segment. They are building her up as far as the fact that she's number one contender. This isn't just like she won it one week on Raw and then next week it's the match and it is what it is. I like that they're building this up. And I like that we're getting these subtle, we've been getting this for a little while now, ever since Bray made the return, that these little, little pop-ups of the Bray Wyatt new logo would come on and it would affect her in somehow. I thought what we saw with the segment, those two sitting down talking together, was amazing. I liked what Bliss had to say, because to me, reading into what they said in these promos with each other during that interview segment, Bliss made it very clear, like, I was abducted, but then I was abandoned by him. And then the whole, you're overlooking me, you're making this about him. It's not about him, it's about me. To where it almost sounds like she's bitter and angry at Bray. And like I told JR earlier, Danny, you can't expect everyone who is in the WWE universe to forget what happened to those two, and to forget what happened at Mania when Bliss cost Bray Wyatt that match to Randy Orton. This big presentation of the black crown and the black blood on her face. We're never going to forget that. And for her to, and for them to run through the shit that she's been doing as that character without Bray, and kind of how everybody was like, I appreciated that they didn't just like try to pretend that didn't happen either. And then I liked it. I liked the hitting Bianca in the head, because.
But what about this though, too, Ace? She said something that was amazing, where she said, "Don't forget that I was winning championships long before you even got here." Because sometimes what happens in wrestling is they make us just forget that somebody actually was good. You know what I mean? Like you tie her in with she was partners with Asuka, then all of a sudden she was partners with who's the crazy girl now? I don't know. But like you get to a point where Nikki Cross, you get to a point where you go, Alexa Bliss was a beast at one point. Remember that? Like Alexa was winning matches And then all of a sudden, yeah, Bianca's hot right now, and I'm a big Bianca fan. But I mean, this isn't just a random person that you're fighting.
It's interesting you say that too, Tim, because let's throw this out, because this was always something that pissed me off with that, because I'm an Alexa Bliss mark. I will always admit that. Like, love her. I think she's an amazing on the microphone. She's gorgeous. She's great in the ring. I'm always into people who are small that can go in the ring, because that takes a lot of talent to go with people who are bigger than you and be able to fly around. But her last legitimate like brushes with titles was when Asuka was still the champion. Was right before she went full on into this Bray Wyatt stuff, but it was at the beginning of what's going on with Bliss. Why is she kind of like doing this Bray Wyatt stuff, but then she's not, and she beat Asuka clean in a non-title match. The next week they had a match that didn't have a decision, and then that was the end of it. So pre-Bray Wyatt, as that transformation was happening, they were having her beat one of their best champions, but never gave her that title match. And you wonder, was that part of what would have came her way if Bray never got fired and all that played out how they originally planned it? Well, now she's getting back in that title picture, and this is now when she's kind of turning back into the Bray Wyatt stuff. I think there's just so much more those two can do together, and they know that. And they brought in a movie, like a horror movie writer or director, writer, to like legitimately do like basically the Bray Wyatt stuff going forward. Yeah. So I'm all in on what they're doing with that. I really am. Anybody else?
I feel like JR wants to say something.
Well, here's the thing. I'm excited to see what happens with Bray Wyatt. In terms of Bliss, I didn't see what happened last night. I have seen the hints up to this point, and I kind of like the slow burn, but we've been so now attuned to things happening faster than this, and so because I've been sort of trained by WWE that things happen really quick over there now, I'm a bit disappointed with the Bray stuff. I love that the Sammy stuff and the Bloodline stuff is taking so long because it's entertaining and they're drawing more people into it. But there's with the Bray stuff, it seems to be more nebulous, which maybe is why I'm a little bit more impatient, because it's like, come on, let's do something.
Well, and I think we've hit that stride. We had Bliss see this logo and actually finally have an aggressive move out of it with smashing Bianca Belair with the thing of flowers and the glass vase. And we all have to remember too, Friday night SmackDown, Uncle Howdy made his debut in person in the arena while Bray was in the ring with LA Knight. So it seems like they just shifted gears in this whole Bray Wyatt story finally. Tom?
I was busy last night, so I didn't get to see it, but I think JR is right. When this has kind of been, I've become impatient with it. Also, you brought up LA Knight. It's fun to see that he's, as far as I know, not being used, because whether it's Eli Drake or LA Knight, that dude just knows how to be a fucking heel. And when they were trying to not make him a heel, I'm like, you are wasting talent there. And I can understand too, like,
oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say I can see where, if you're gonna pair two guys together for a feud to start this Bray Wyatt thing, that's probably not that guy to go with, because you're not utilizing him the way you should, but he's a fucking hell of a go. And so you're not gonna have a bad match there. But I just don't know where that would actually lead long term, but whatever.
Well, what I think long term it's gonna do for LA Knight is this is putting stock on his name now finally in WWE.
Right.
Because he is playing this perfectly. He really is. Like you said, he is so good. He always has been. We've done this, people, as
Mhm.
wrestling fans. We've all known how good he is, no matter what his goddamn name is or what promotion he's in. That's just what that man does, and it is. It's a nice addition to this Wyatt feud. What do you think, Tim?
Yeah, I love when he does that. No, I agree. I mean, I probably didn't do it right.
Tim E. Nela. Yeah.
Yeah. We gotta save that. No, you're right. I mean, I think the feud doesn't make sense personally because I don't believe that LA Knight is the right guy to feud with them. But at the same time, what Tommy's saying though too, I am losing interest in it just because this buildup is taking way too long. And I think it's getting to the point where if we're starting to lose interest in it, the people who don't even care about Uncle Howdy or don't even care about Bray Wyatt in general, which I think a lot of people care about him, but eventually they have to kind of expedite this process right now, you know? And, but I mean, I don't know. I don't really know where they're trying to go with it. You know what I mean? I feel like a guy like Bray Wyatt, I feel like the reason why things got dark the first go around was just because he's probably a man with all these countless ideas, and I feel like they just gotta let this man do his thing. Whatever that is, just let him do it, let him run with it, and let's see what we get out of it personally.
Well, and I think the running theme with Bray Wyatt has always been, when it was the Fiend stuff, is it's taking too long. Let him do it. Let him do it. Maybe this is what he wants. That last time around when him and Bliss were together, she was in an interview saying, let it breathe. We get it. It's going to happen. But I also think they sense that. And I think that's why this week specifically, we're seeing action on both ends of that. I'm excited to see where it goes. Plus, you got to think, we got the holidays here. I think they do have the holidays off. I think they run Friday SmackDown. I think then everybody gets like the week off, and then they're back on the road. So A, we're going to recharge, and then B, again, whatever is happening these next few weeks kind of is just whatever it is till the end of January. We hit the Rumble, and then things are starting to really take steam, and things will be a little bit more clear on, okay, now we know what we're getting come April at Mania or end of March. I don't know where it falls this year. JR, you mentioned the Bloodline. Can't talk about wrestling this week without mentioning the Bloodline. They were great in Rochester at the show. Sami Zayn. Man, that guy is just entertaining. I did call him a Muppet very loudly. I hope he heard me. And then on Raw, running roughshod, having Roman start Raw off with him and Heyman, and then saying, like, I got my guys too. And then we cut to the Bloodline is just going nuts backstage, taking everybody in their path out. Yeah. Okay. So they taped SmackDown already. So yeah, they're already off then, guys. So, but yeah, it was great. It was great watching the Usos and Sammy while they were doing, like, they were streaming it live on Instagram backstage, and just like that, like, it's like you want to be at that party. You want to be with those dudes. Hey, even though they're like beating innocent people up, it's like, I want to hang with those guys. It was just fun, and I love Solo.
The whole thing kind of reminds me, and Tom, I know you're a WCW guy. It kind of reminds me of the NWO when it first started.
Yes.
And it was just uber cool to be part of that and say, those are my guys.
What was everybody's favorite moment from that era, that time with those guys? Because I'll tell you mine. The image that will never leave my head from those guys taking over stuff at WCW is Rey Mysterio getting thrown like a lawn dart into the trailer.
Lawn dart. Yeah.
Oh.
And if you haven't watched the Monday Night Wars DVD, that the most interesting thing to me about that, and this is the whole thing, it was so realistic that during that fight when Rey Mysterio got lawn darted, the Orlando police actually showed up because they got numerous calls about a gang fight that was going on.
No, man, that's just Scott Hall and Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan.
But I'm gonna tell. So I want to answer your question, Ace, because I'm a little younger than you guys, not by much, but I'm a little younger. But I remember. So the thing with me, I remember the first initial invasion when Scott Hall showed up, because I always knew Scott Hall as Razor Ramon, right?
Yeah.
And then when they said Scott Hall, I'm over here going like, what's going on? Why is Razor here? And I'm a kid, right? So like I'm legitimately thinking, like, what is happening? This is a real life invasion. And then each week he's slowly bringing somebody different. Then all of a sudden, Diesel now is Kevin Nash. I know him as Diesel. You know what I mean? And then I'm just seeing this stuff unfold, and then more and more people show up. And I remember the match when Hogan finally joined the NWO, and the fans were throwing trash. And I mean, I was going, I really, really believed every single thing that was happening at that time. I mean, it was, I still remember like it was yesterday. I mean, that was, we'll never have that again. That was amazing.
I wasn't even that WCW guy, but I remember that. I remember turning over because I heard about it. The whole, you know who I am, but you don't know why I'm here. I love it. You were a WCW guy, Tommy. So, I mean, what was your moment?
When it comes to the NWO, I see. I liked what it was, but then finding out later that the initial plan was to have Sting be the third member because he was so deeply ingrained in WCW. He never jumped ship. He never did anything. And for me, hearing about that later, I was like, oh fuck that. I think that would have been so cool, but it was probably the Sting and Hogan lead up, because Starrcade match, the payoff fucking sucked. But like reality was, when you don't have a guy wrestling, but he's there and he can cause havoc at any time to disrupt the NWO, that was really probably, I think, my favorite moment, because that really set up the idea in my head as far as this. There's clearly a WCW side and there's an NWO side. So when they started to pitch things like, well, this is the NWO Monday Night Nitro, it's like, holy shit, okay, like, all right. Or like NWO sold out. It's like, yeah, okay, I could believe this is a separate brand.
Wasn't that in Iowa?
Cedar Rapids.
Oh, fuck.
Five Season Center, baby.
That tiny arena. And did they do like they did like a bear, like did they have like a semi and like limos, like a barricade of cars, like they did like a parade in.
Yep.
Just remember, WCW was also regularly running a fucking pay-per-view in Sturgis. So I mean,
but had probably one of the bigger attendance in the year. I mean, let's be honest.
Yeah, but I don't think they could charge anybody for it. So you just have a crowd showing up, and a lot of them just don't know fucking wrestling.
And
they're
then
like,
those
this guy,
dumbasses,
he could have been a biker.
And then those dumbasses, when the guys come to the ring, they're all, it's like, yo, there's someone right behind you. Like, they're inhaling all of that, you idiot. Like,
I hope your kid likes wrestling.
Yeah.
It's like the most wild
that was
wrestling
probably
show ever. Chicks have no shirts on. Someone's getting stabbed by like a freaking Hell's Angel in the corner. The ring was on like the highest of highest stages.
Oh, and didn't it was? Oh, sorry. I was going to say, wasn't that the one where they had the two guys fighting in the back of the hay in the flatbed? But that was Bunkhouse Stampede.
Yeah, that was something different.
Yeah.
But we did get Jay Leno in a match at one of the Sturgis shows.
But WCW had great pay-per-views, though. I mean, they had the Halloween Havoc, they had the Great American Bash, they had Starrcade. I mean, Top Shelf, help me out here. I mean, they definitely had a lot.
Oh, they were good.
Well, they did. I think they're obviously Starrcade was the granddaddy or the original godfather of pay-per-views, if you will. And a lot of people will always say like WrestleMania really started off, which yes, the grandiose of WrestleMania, but Starrcade was there for a lot longer. And that's actually why Survivor Series exists, because Starrcade used to be a November pay-per-view. And then that got pushed back to December because they were going to lose everybody to WWE's money or WWF's money at the time. But yeah, I mean, Halloween Havoc, Starrcade were definitely their biggest two. Bash at the Beach, Great American Bash, Hog Wild was the one, or Road Wild was the one in Sturgis. They always had fucking,
though, didn't they?
Well, Hog Wild was that fucking Tim Allen movie, so Road Wild was the pay-per-view. So I messed that up.
Wild Hogs.
The whole time I was thinking, don't say Hog Wild, like, or Wild Hogs or whatever, like, and I still fucked it up.
Didn't they start Thunder on Thursdays and then WWF came out with SmackDown on Thursdays to combat that?
Yeah, it was
I
like
don't
3 years
remember who
later.
was first,
Like they
was
find
it?
his SmackDown.
I think
Thunder
Thunder
was-
was first, wasn't it?
Yeah, Thunder was as soon as Ted Turner bought WCW or from Jim Crockett Promotions and made it an actual group. Because remember, World Championship Wrestling was technically just the NWA's programming through Jim Crockett Promotions, and when Ted Turner bought it, he made it into WCW. So, and then he added Nitro and then Thunder, or Thunder and then Nitro, actually, technically.
Yeah, because it used to be Georgia Championship Wrestling and Florida Championship Wrestling that were Jim Crockett, as Tom said, but it was two different shows. One was I think was Saturday night, and one was Sunday afternoon or some shit like that.
Why is Jade Cargill fist bumping people on her way to the ring? She's the heel.
I think they're trying to, after she won her title back from Nyla Rose, I think they're trying to make her a face, which doesn't make sense when you have a group called the Baddies. But
She's just the most untalented
Hold on.
wrestler ever.
Real quick, top show. You got a brother on the show. You know why they call them the baddies? Because bad means they fine. Not because they're bad. Because they baddies. So that's why. So the name has nothing to do with them being heels or not. They just fine. They baddies.
No, they fucking
okay.
Fuck them.
Well,
but you know,
I mean, honestly, I was going to say the group really took a hit downward in my book when Kira Hogan was kicked out, because I'm like,
yeah. By the way,
she's generally she's the most talented one that they had as far as in the ring and stuff, and she's also been the most established. She's the only one that had won a title before fucking AEW.
How were they not being like, Kira, please teach this woman how to wrestle? Like, I don't get it. Either way, they all suck.
Isn't the other one going to turn on her soon too? I think. Who's the Red Velvet? I think she's about to turn on her soon too.
Well, it doesn't make sense because Red Velvet and Jade are friends outside of the ring, and then that's why they added her, because that was the feud initially, was Red Velvet versus Jade Cargill, and then it just became this whole. I guess they're okay because Red lost 3 times or whatever. It's like some bullshit. It was like,
fuck.
So now you're just friends because you beat him.
I mean, look. Anybody that dislikes Goldberg has to dislike Jade Cargill just on principle, because that's exactly what this fucking is. It's
this
female. It's female Goldberg. That's all it is.
The worst.
And
Did you see that he did you see like a week or two ago though, he in an interview did warn everybody that he will have another match. So just so y'all know,
be in WWE.
There is another match coming his way apparently. So y'all
Goldberg to AEW confirmed.
Good, go hang out there.
Well, again, being a WCW guy, here's what Goldberg was. It's just a smash 'em up, beat 'em up contest. You know you're not going to get any skill, but he was a guy who could bring a lot of energy to the ring real quick. And WCW, that was I think the 3-hour Nitros, and the fact that it didn't seem like the lull we have with Raw now, because they would have promos, but they would only go maybe like 5 to 7 minutes and not be 2 whole fucking segments almost. And then we had matches, and they would have, heavyweights going against each other, and then they would go to cruiserweights. And they come back from a break, and you got the Nitro dancers, and then they come in, and then all of a sudden you're having Tony Schiavone in the rings with whoever, Larry Zbyszko and Bobby Brain Heenan's following suit or whatever. Like, nothing felt like it was a lull. And this is at the heat of the Monday Night War, so it makes sense. But I just, sometimes it gets lost in all this stuff. But Goldberg was literally just the height of the idea that if he has 10 seconds in the ring with somebody, cool, it's still just another match, and then you move into something else.
But the thing about
crescendo, and then it's just
and I get that. The thing about it is, there's legitimate people who will fight till they're blue in the mouth that he's the greatest wrestler of all time. He is not. He's not even like. No, like almost
he's not my top 10.
Almost everyone on the independent scene will wrestle circles around him. So
here's the thing with Goldberg. Goldberg at the time, he had the look. He had enough skill. He was able to be carried by everyone.
He was Hogan when
Mm-hmm.
Hogan wasn't that baby face anymore.
It was just, and he was just the right guy with the right look at the right place at the right time. Nothing more. And I mean, they could have done anything, but when the ball started rolling with him, you know, I'll tell you, one of the main reasons I dislike Goldberg is because he put Bret Hart out of wrestling. Because he fucking didn't know what he was doing.
Yep.
Yeah, that mule
and
kick.
He almost did the same goddamn thing to The Undertaker.
Jericho.
See, that's a good enough reason right there.
He's 0-2, but didn't he actually like beat up Goldberg? Like there's a story that Jericho actually like got into a fight with Goldberg and beat him.
Yeah, Jericho won backstage because Goldberg kept doing the politics saying that Jericho wasn't a good enough feud for him. Because Jericho was pressing for it, and then basically Jericho got into his face and said, "The fuck, dude! You know I could help increase your popularity and stuff like that too." And Goldberg just fucking passed by, blew him off, and then fucking
could you have
Jericho wrangled him in or something? So
could you imagine if Goldberg would have ended Rock's career or some shit when he first came over to WWE? You know what I mean? Like that's that liability with that guy. I mean, even to now, look what he almost killed Taker.
Yeah, I think to myself, I really wish that Goldberg would have pissed off Brock, because I think if he would have, I think Brock would have beat the shit out of him legit in the ring.
Yeah, don't you remember when Brock legitimately fucking punched or kicked Braun Strowman in the match and was like, "You slow it down."
Yep. I also remember when he hardwayed Orton in the head with his elbow. I mean,
don't some of these guys legitimately despise each other?
Oh yeah,
some do.
Like to the point where it's like they can't even be in the same room with each other.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
well, it's Tim, you're right. I mean, it's one thing I mentioned a couple weeks ago. There's just always egos when it comes to anything in entertainment. So wrestling is no different than anything else. You know, you got actors, comedians, fucking radio hosts and shit like that have egos about, oh, you should respect me because I made it in the industry. It's like, who the fuck are you? Most of these people, like, who the fuck are you? Who the fuck cares? Like, no one in Iowa knows who the fuck Dave Ryan is. You know, I was like, who cares?
Yeah, it's fucking Goldberg.
Hey, Sin.
All right. What else happened on Raw? Anything else that we should cover? Tim, am I missing anything that happened on Raw last night that we should talk about that was like a big deal? Obviously, we got the Austin Theory, Seth Rollins feud. I'm in for it. I like that. Theory dropped the whole selfie mode and is trying to take himself more serious, and I like that he's going after his mentor.
You hear that dig he said, though? He said, "You're just the third." What did he say? What did he say about the Shield?
Third most popular, or the third most successful member of the Shield. So that was fun. Yeah, I like that. I like
Jesse.
What else did they do? It was Becky and Bayley. Becky and Bayley had a really good match last night too.
Let me shout out HCW Sports. That's my boy. We go way back. I've been doing this for like a little over 2 years, and he always shows me love. So I gotta say what's up to him and Jesse too. By the way, I see Jesse on there too, so I gotta show him love.
Well, yeah, welcome everybody. Okay, let's get into some other stuff. Big news. First of all, Matt Riddle rehab.
I didn't know.
And given the fact that WWE does not test for THC anymore, I wonder what it could be.
I mean, so first of all, this guy his personal life is a mess.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
we won't get super into all of the stuff that's going on with him outside of the ring, just because unfortunately it has to do with a friend of ours a little bit. So we want out of respect not get into any of that. So, but first of all, I just talking about Matt Riddle, the reputation, him going to rehab, knowing that they're not testing for THC. So it is something that, and I mean, yeah, they're testing they're testing for performance enhancing drugs, but you're not going to rehab for those. So what is it? We hear the things that he may be doing outside of the ring. Is this going to be a problem child going forward for WWE? Will he come out of rehab and be successful, or would you really also look at it? This guy went through a lot. Let's be honest. A lot of it he brought onto himself in his personal life with the marriage, having the kids, the wife. Obviously, that ended horribly. So I don't even know if he's like seeing his kids or what that's all about. But I mean, it was not a good deal. So like, do we see him come back and be successful? Or like, is he going to just be one of these guys that they're going to always have some issues with until he's just eventually released?
Well, I'll tell you, I think it's a shame when they get to the rehab or resign business, which is too bad. And you know that I've not always been a huge fan of Riddle, and he grew on me. And I thought he was absolutely and perfectly fine in my book, and the stuff he did with Orton was fantastic. So I'm sad that he's run into this problem, but without knowing him personally, it's hard to even guess whether he's going to be able to come back from this. I mean, you talk about guys that get sent to rehab. I mean, Jeff Hardy's had how many chances, and it doesn't seem to matter whether he.
It's kind of sad to know we've basically probably seen the last of Jeff Hardy in ring.
Yeah. Unceremoniously, by the way.
Yeah.
Do you think that WWE is to blame? Because it seems as if they were really enabling him this entire time. If you think about it.
Yeah, and like HCW says here that they threw the personal life and storyline, which can't be good for mental health, and I agree. And I mean, here's the deal. That there was a question of, is it okay? And even if he was on the fence at that time, Vince was still there, so he's going to be like, I don't know, let's do it.
It's good shot.
But at some point, he did agree to that, where he should have maybe been like, no, let's not. Because again, too, you guys got to remember, he comes from a different background. He comes from that MMA world. He comes from extreme sports. He's not came into wrestling and that's all he knows. He comes from other backgrounds. He was a UFC fighter, wasn't he? He was like under contract with Dana White. So, it's rough that, because let's be honest, the stuff with him and Rollins, and it made for amazing TV. Like, I still love that segment where he's like, hey, Riddle, you still there? Here's the deal, man. Your kids don't even want to fucking see you. Like, watching that on TV, it was like, yeah, like, I like it. But, again, it's like, what does that do to the mental health of that guy who may be going through a lot of shit? Because there's also a lot of claims about different things with that guy online. You look back at Matt Hardy, Lita, and Edge in that scenario, and how that all played out on TV. Tom, I don't know if you remember the Bite This segment where things got really real, and they were calling shoot names in that interview. What do you think? Do you think that the damage, there was extra damage done with that being involved?
100%. I think I don't know a lot of guys of Riddle's athletic caliber that have the best mental health that isn't also subdued with some kind of antidepressant or something like that. Like, he's an intense guy. You can see that how he wrestles and stuff, and that's part of the character. I get that. But when you start throwing in things from your personal life, I mean, it'd be the same thing here. Like if any of us here had a spat and we bring it on air, and you guys bring up something fucking heinous or stupid or whatever against me or issues with it, and we can talk it out later or whatever. But there's gonna be some issues there, and there's gonna be probably some animosity. So I think when we start looking at the fact that if it's microdosing or whatever, and especially I mean, here he has that shroom tattoo on his fucking leg or whatever. He's probably doing a lot of that stuff, and what I think it led to harder drugs. I think it genuinely was probably not microdosing. I think it's probably, in my opinion, probably along the lines of cocaine or other something maybe more like maybe hair or opioids as a whole.
I agree,
and which is terrifying to think that somebody of that level is going to go through that. But
well, I agree with you because I think
that?
you hear the shit with Aaron Rodgers and his ayahuasca trips, and now that's just being mainstream media now. And let's be honest, I feel like if that test came back and they're like, "Hey, man,
you gotta really be careful with that stuff though, too, because it can."
Right, but I mean, what I'm saying is, if that comes back and Triple H is like, "Hey, man, you've been taking some psychedelics," I don't know, man. Like, and I don't think it would have been a rehab call. I think it would have been like, knock it off. I think there's a little bit more. I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think it maybe a little bit harder than that. Coca-Cola only took Coke out because sugar was more addictive. You're right. So, yeah, I mean, hopefully he gets out, comes back, and he's good to go. But I watched on the old Peacock. The old Peacock. They have a thing called "This Is Awesome." JR is leaving us. What is he doing? He has no hand.
He's yelling at the dog.
I just feel like he's yelling at the invisible voices in his head right now. That's the old man talking to himself just in his room. Like, what are you? God, what was I saying now?
You talk about
his
Peacock.
lawn, and now he has to go fucking deal with him. Get there, shoo!
No, what was I saying? Tim?
Fucking old man.
You were watching something on Peacock, you said.
Oh, Peacock. They have this is
awesome.
And they did one about the best wrestling video games, right? Well, they had some cut interviews with Riddle. Listen, I got a lot of friends that like to smoke the weed, right? And I think we all do, and we know how people are on that. If that's all he was doing, I'm very concerned for him then, because I mean, it was almost like he wasn't there in these little cut interviews. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, it was like he was struggling to, like, it was weird, man. It was weird. So I don't know, man. It's hard to have a rocky personal life and then have that just all exposed on your job and not on the job.
Tim, you're going to say something?
Yeah, I was going to go back to what you guys were saying earlier, where in pro wrestling, do they ever like draw a line? Because I mean, the more I think about it, this has been happening for how long? I mean, you go back to the Mega Powers days with Queen Elizabeth, Macho Man, Luger, Hogan. You talked about the Matt Hardy Lita situation. I'm watching AEW last week, and they had a segment where who's that? Uno number 10, the guy from the Dark Order, and he's bashing Brody Lee and bashing Brody Lee's son. And for a guy now who has a son, I'm going, can we not play with that? You know what I mean? But it just seems like MJF going at Brian Pillman Sr. right in front of Brian Pillman Jr. You know what I mean? So it's like, at what point do you just say, especially in the day and age we live in now with mental health and all these things, I mean, when do you say we can't do that?
Well, and and Tommy and I have had this conversation regarding AEW and the powers to be over there, and how, I feel like it could be hard to tell your roster and the people who work for you that they can't do these certain things when it's like, all right, man, but the guy who owns this place, I mean, let's really, and I don't know, Timmy, were you at Dynamite when they came last to the cities?
I've never been to Dynamite. Nope.
Okay.
Well,
We've said this before. If you were at the Dynamite at the Target Center a few months ago, however long ago that was, Tom.
August.
There was just a few too many times during commercial where Tony Khan took it upon himself to come out and pump the crowd up. Now, the problem with this, too, is he was very excited and almost like, I mean, you couldn't understand half the shit he would say. Like it was like screaming, like like it was odd, right, Tom?
Yeah. Also, don't scream into the microphone. You could have given the example without screaming. Oh,
How about you don't tell me what to fucking do?
I don't know. I've been to enough comedy shows to know you just don't scream into a microphone. Anyhow, yeah, I fully believe, especially when you make Matt Riddle into a over the top caricature of the pothead, if you will, right? I mean, I believe he was already kind of pushing that anyways with extreme amounts of cannabis use, or HCW even mentioned, was it smoking weed or was it dabbing? And it is two different highs, because dabbing is a totally different game than just smoking weed or even edibles. Like it's pure THC, and it's a different high. I mean, it is almost, and I've seen some people get fucking crazy on dabs too, but like, I genuinely believe when you make a caricature of a guy who's already on the absolute edge of this is an extreme user of weed, which, whatever. I mean, weed does have its benefits. There's no doubt about that, but it's also, there should be a limit to what most people are with it, where it's helping you with, glaucoma or pain or whatever. But
It's
to
like
make
alcohol,
a caricature,
you gotta know what you can handle.
yeah, I mean, it's the same thing. Like,
Oh my god.
so like the APA, right? Like, it's technically a caricature of hardcore alcoholics and gamblers, right? Like, that's kind of what it was for a little while there. But
It's like remember being like the APA is cool, and other people are like, no, those men are criminals.
yeah, I mean, they're hired hitmen, if you will. I mean, there's a lot of things, but again, what's the limit you want to go to? Because we never really saw a pothead to that level. I mean, some would say maybe like Adam Rose was kind of a pothead in, or some aspect of the party scene, but
Really?
well, I mean, you got to figure he's coming out with a whole caricature of things. I mean, he's probably like a caricature of like like a rave or like an EDM show or whatever. Like, you got all these different fucking things and people and all these weird oddities and stuff like that. I mean, it's just not, but I mean, it's not the same level, but yeah, Public Enemy, they're caricatures of the Jerky Boys, really, in my mind. But yeah, oh, sorry, you know what, HW, you're right. RVD was probably the one, but we also knew that was part of his outside character. It wasn't necessarily what he brought to the ring, because when him and Sabu got arrested for it, it was national fucking news.
Well, and Tim, you brought up like what's the limit on like letting these guys spin out of control with mental health and drug use and all that. You got to remember though, like where they're at now, it's actually like they have limits now. Like you look back at the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, you hear about Greg the Valentine talk about what him and Flair had like 6 cases of beer they together in one car ride, and kept the car on the road the whole time. He even said, he's like, I don't know how I did it. Was it like him and Piper talking about doing 8 balls in the car? Like that's how those guys lived. You know what I mean?
And the funny story about Hacksaw Jim Duggan and the Sheik getting pulled over, and it wasn't, nobody was mad at him because they were doing drugs.
Because they broke.
They were mad at him because they were riding together.
Yeah, they broke kayfabe. A heel and a face were in the car together. Yeah.
Don't break kayfabe. I hate you guys.
Isn't
Except
it
for
crazy?
Tim. Tim's
We went
cool.
from you don't break kayfabe to nowadays it's just reality wrestling. I don't know.
Yeah.
Another big story. I mean, we have to talk about it, right, guys? I think people want to hear our thoughts. And that is that Mandy Rose got let go from WWE. She lost her title. The next day she was let go. I don't know if you guys saw what they're saying today, but her manager today came out saying she's on pace to make $1 million.
Yeah.
Easy without WWE. So leaked pictures, apparently good old Prince Albert or whatever his real name is, came across these pictures. Yep, Prince Albert was the snitch. Let Michaels know. And immediately Michaels changed plans for that next show for her to drop the title, and then was gone the next day. Now, the thing that is interesting around it, so we've seen this happen, guys. We've seen a female talent. We've even seen male talent. I think Seth Rollins had pictures of him that got leaked by a crazy ex-girlfriend. We obviously all remember the Paige situation and how horrible that was for her, and all those videos getting leaked by one of her exes. This is a little bit different. This was Mandy Rose putting this shit out and making money off of it.
Here's the thing. It's different and it isn't. Okay? Look, I mean, if it's okay for a Sable to go and be in Playboy, does that mean that the WWE got a portion of that?
I got to ask you this, though, because everybody's throwing that stuff out there. Oh, Playboy and the bra and panties matches. And I agree. First of all, yes, Playboy. Yeah, of course WWE got a cut of that. B, I will say, looking, because let's be honest, it's all over. You can't miss it. And seeing the things that came out, this wasn't Playboy.
No. I'm not disputing that at all.
This was very much one not even one, a half step away from this was legit hardcore porn. The last few things she put out, like her and whatever his name is, was it what's it, Tom? Sabatino?
Sabarini or something.
Sabarito, whatever his name is. I mean, you turn
Santino Marella. That's what his name is.
I wish that was what it was. If that was the case, don't fire her and let's just bring Santino back and bring that back. Bring that in. Yeah. Can you imagine? Because it's her and him in the shower, ass naked, and he's basically, you just can't see that if it's in or not. You know what I mean? But could you imagine if that was just Santino there, but he's also got the snake on while he's behind her in the shower? Like, no one would get mad at those. No one at all would get mad at that.
Here's the thing, guys. I heard or saw something yesterday.
Real quick, Tommy, you missed it. Young man opened the show with us.
Oh, dang it!
And he's going to the next wrestling show that shows up in Rochester. So you should go.
He heard you were coming, and he was like, "I gotta go."
I thought young man Nela was my only fan. To be real honest with you.
How much
Nela
are you
household,
paying?
We're top shelf fan club over here. We're all team top shelf. I've said it before.
Hashtag top shelf life over there at the Nela household. Hell yeah, man.
Yes,
top
sir.
shelf, baby.
Yes,
I love it.
Go back to it, though. I heard a report that when CJ Perry went and started doing things on whatever this deal is, and I think she and Mandy Rose are on the same thing, CJ Perry made $20,000 the first hour.
Here's the deal, guys. OnlyFans, these fans only, Fansly, whatever these sites are. There's like a million of them now. There are so many girls, and there's guys on there too, and they are making money literally just posting on these sites, and people pay for this shit. Billions of dollars. You're seeing like porn stars not do mainstream porn anymore because they make more money just having their own thing on an OnlyFans.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So I mean, obviously there is some money to be made, and that's great for her because again, she doesn't need WWE now. I mean that's obvious today. It kind of just comes down to like, well, first I've also heard that it was like the door is open down the road maybe for her to come back in time. She probably, my guess is, won't, just because of how this all went down. But I don't know. It's hard. I get everybody's thing with the Divas era, the Playboy stuff, and all that. But and the whole, well, they're not getting a cut of it. I don't think that's the deal because they're not shutting any WWE people's Twitches down. You know what I mean? I think they got rid of that policy when Triple H came back, actually, to a point as far as letting them have their own stuff like that. It really, I think it was just the wrong. It was bad timing for who's in charge because she's on NXT, and the man in charge is Michaels, who is a born again Christian.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta say this though. So do any of you guys remember the episode where Sasha Banks was doing the Stone Cold Steve Austin podcast? broken skull. There was a point in that conversation where she said, when I was new, I was cool with getting the pizza. I was cool with getting these things in the back. I was cool with just being there. But she's like, and she straight up said this too. And she goes, but now I'm eating steak. Vince McMahon eats steaks with vegetables. So do I. You get to a point where people want you for you, and then you get so big where you kind of go, hold on, what am I doing here? Like, man, what are they upset about? I mean, like, you look at her right now. Anybody that goes to WWE in most cases, it's just like any job. You look to advance and eventually possibly leave, right? That's just the name of the game. The Rock, Cena, the list goes on. Reigns is next up here. That's just how it goes. So when you look at a person like her in the world we live in right now, those are things right now that are accessible. Those are things that are available. I don't see any problem with what she did. And when it comes down to it, based off what we've seen today with the manager and just moving forward, she's going to become a much bigger star than she would have been just being the NXT Women's Champion for however long.
Well, and she's always done well on herself as a fitness model, too. That was stuff she did before. And like Dan said, she was one of the tough enough contestants still on the roster, her and Sonya Deville. So, you know, it's just hard. It's a hard thing because, again, we have preached this on this show for a good year and a half now. WWE's television isn't primarily targeted at adults. It's primarily targeted at the kids. So that puts you in a tough situation when you have a champion putting a picture of her and her fiance in the shower, basically fucking, and you're trying to sell her Barbie doll at the store. I get that. And, you know, people have said, hey, she could go sign with AEW because they take all of that over there. But again, I don't even think she needs wrestling at this point.
Why would you do that? You know?
I mean, you got to figure it's a different market. It's a different group of people sometimes that maybe aren't watching WWE because maybe they were more indie minded. Well, you know, they bring over Mandy Rose. Sure, why not? I'll give it a look, or Mandy Sachs. And, but you got to figure they're not all these people who are on OnlyFans or Fansly or Fan Time like Mandy Rose was. They're not doing anything different that WWE hasn't already done. We had the network for how long in this country? And you had to pay $9.99 a month. Well, shit, I'll be real honest with you. If Mandy Rose's Fan Time is $9.99 a month, there's a lot of people who would much be like, well, shit, I was really only watching it for her anyways. So
I hate to break it to you, it's more than $9.99 a month. So
that's what I'm saying. If
out
of
your price range there, sir.
You're talking to the top shelf and you're saying it's out of my price range? I remember I bought a car today with straight cash, homie. All right. Just remember who you talk to.
It's like in Parks and Recs when Andy wants to hold a big amount of sum of money. So they give him $100 cash and just dollar bills. Anyways.
Have you seen this much money in your life? Yes, I handed it to you.
Hey, so let me say this.
I want all nickels.
Okay, so when we were watching this program at our younger age, when the stuff that was happening, we had zero clue what was happening, because it's like WWE and pro wrestling just in general. You have all these storylines going on. If you're a kid, you probably don't even give a damn what Mandy Rose is doing outside of this, because you're just invested in what she's doing when you see her in the ring. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
Like, they have to, if they're catering to kids. If you're a good parent like myself, let's just say, my son wouldn't even know Mandy Rose has an OnlyFans.
Mm-hmm.
He would just know her as Mandy Rose, the wrestler.
Yeah, and I think when we were kids, for sure. I think the unfortunate part is there's just so many people that have kids that it's like, here's your phone, leave me alone. And it's not hard to accidentally, I mean, especially with this story specifically. Luckily, there are a lot of good wrestling media out there, you know, WrestleZone, Fightful, a lot of places like that refuse to post the leaked stuff. But there's also a lot of them that are like, here it is. So it's super easy to find it. But here's the other thing too, though. Let's be honest. Mandy Rose's star really rose in the last
Year
3 years
and a month.
You know what I mean? Well, let's
Right.
be honest. It's been a little longer than that. 3 years. Whatever. I think whenever her and Sonya got together, that was really when things were picking up for her career-wise with WWE. Here's the thing, though. Like I said, that was just a few years ago. I met this woman at WrestleMania 32 in Dallas. Didn't know who she was. It was the shortest line for photo ops at that fan access session, and we didn't meet nobody because they sold too many goddamn tickets to that session, so lines were long for everything. Didn't even remember who she was till like after I got my picture with her, and didn't see her for a good couple years after that on anything WWE. She was kind of just at the Performance Center training. So the fact that she had a big rise and left on top, and if she's cool with just making bank off of her body, because that's the biggest thing. You got to be okay. I mean, she's got to be okay with it, right? Like you're doing this, so obviously you're okay with it. I mean, if I had a great body, maybe I'd do the same. Maybe I'd be out there like, "What's up?" and people pay me, but that's never going to happen. So
You don't know till you try.
Yeah,
true.
just go ahead and work out every day. God damn it. Maybe you're the next
It's like
Andy
Central.
Rose.
It's like Central
Huh?
Intelligence with the Rock and Kevin Hart. Man, how'd you lose all that weight? Well, I left high school and I worked out every single day of my life till after that.
Great
No,
movie.
I mean, hey, I wish I could do that. I wish I could wake up at 4 a.m. with Tim Nella and go to the athletic club and every day put in. But you know what I'm doing at 4 a.m.? I am sleeping. And then when my alarm goes off at 6:30, I hit it so I can sleep some more. And then at about 7:15, I actually get out of bed. So, yeah, I don't know. I think they're fine. The part that sucks with this whole thing with Mandy Rose is you have Gigi and I'm blanking on her name, but the other girl from Toxic Attraction that now are kind of just left in the dust.
JD Jace.
Yeah. So that sucks for those two to now all of a sudden just be like, wait, what? We were a part of the stable and it was really over and it was cool and all that. So, yeah, I don't.
There's a real easy answer to that spot. I mean, you already had Sonya and Mandy being good friends in real life, along with their former tag team. Just put Sonya in that role. I mean, she's very attractive, easy on the eyes. I mean, sure, she's a lesbian, but I mean, I saw her Instagram. You should really see who she's dating. Holy shit. But that's beside the point. Like I feel like I'm just leading down on an OnlyFans page.
Man, I was
there
gonna say
again.
we really sounded like some desperate, horny old men right now, guys.
I'm just saying, I've seen the
At least me
Instagrams
and
of,
Sam.
yeah, I've seen Sonya. I mean, again, it's an easy fill because of the fact like Sonya's not doing a whole lot, and it really doesn't hurt to just say, oh, if we need another name, put her with these two, because again, the name of the group is Toxic Attraction. I mean, come on. What do you think most of these? I mean, honestly, that's what I almost think is funny about this is because it's Toxic Attraction. What's more toxic than a bunch of guys paying to just see a woman on her fan page? Like, come on, man. Like, there's nothing more toxic than that as far as the male brain and stuff like that too. But here we are, you know.
I do love it though. The funniest thing about this whole story is the fact that when it broke that she had a pay site where you could get pictures of her that are that are naked.
I'm guaranteed that's when she made $1 million.
I'm sure that shit crashed that hour when that that news story broke. Like, every lonely wrestling dude fan in the world is just like, I will give her all of my monies. All of my monies. Let me see it. I mean, she's a good looking girl. Let's all be honest. Mandy Rose is a good looking girl. I've always wanted to know, so now you can find out. Timmy, it's good to have you on the show again. Let's do the Tom game. Tom said we haven't done it with you, so let's do it. I know you know it.
That's the same music, by the way, that Mandy Rose uses on her fan time page.
Thanks for sharing, JR.
You're welcome.
So, Tim, I know you know the game and stuff like that. It's real simple. And I think the only reason we haven't played with you is because the last time you were on was when you were going to the T-Wolves game, and I think we're going to play that day, and then the technical mishaps happened. So it's, again, real simple. F, marry, kill. It's the same idea, but of the three of us, you're picking who is your tag team partner, who is your opponent, and who is your manager.
All right, so in no order, I got to go right off the bat. Manager, it's so easy because we've talked about this so many times. It's Ace.
Mhm.
Ace and I have talked about this for probably over 5 years, where I'm going to become a pro wrestler and he will be my manager. And so that's just a given. Now, here's where it gets tricky, because for some reason, even though everybody despises Top Shelf, I got to tag with Top Shelf. Just because I think it would be like the Top Shelf tag team. I mean, I don't think it gets any more top shelf than myself and Tom. And then now, for opponent-wise, the only reason it's going to be JR, because I think it'll just be entertaining. You know, I strongly feel like we could put on a good program, JR, because the first time we had met, when I did my first stand-up show, we almost had our first match because you mispronounced my last name.
That's right. And it's only the 4 letters. I should have got it easy.
What'd you call him,
Once again,
Nela?
it goes back to
Nela.
4. He did. It goes back to 4. It's, you and 4-letter last names is a problem. So yeah, I think when it comes down to it, I mean, it would just be because it would be a good show. Because you and I truly feel like we would entertain the crowd. But yeah, I mean, that's just what it's got to be, man. I think
But here's
the tag team.
Here's the thing, and I applaud you, because the shape that you're in, Tim, you and I could reenact Hogan slamming Andre. Because I clearly would be the Andre here. And you would be and you would lift me, and people would be absolutely flabbergasted that you could get this big side of beef up in the air and then slam. And I applaud you. I think it's the bravest and most sane choice anyone has ever made on this show.
See, I like how HCW is saying you're trying to flare spin this.
It must be bedtime.
I always like to make sure I point this out, by the way, when we have this arrangement where I am the tag partner and Ace is the manager. This has only happened 3 times, because it's also been the only time that Ace has been picked as the managers, when it's this lineup of me as the tag, JR as the opponent, and then Ace as the manager. 3 times. The Golden God, Bryce Jordan, has picked the same lineup. And just a few weeks ago with the Rabbi, Jeremy Fine. So, Tim Nela, thank you so much. I am excited at the possibility of being your tag team partner. And, anytime I can see JR possibly, get the shit kicked out of him, fantastic.
I mean, I think JR and I could, like he said, Andre the Giant and Hulk Hogan. I was actually thinking more Mankind and The Rock. And then we eventually become a team.
You're gonna beat this in
but before you become a team, he's gonna handcuff you and give you about
you gotta
chair shots as hard as they can be.
He's gonna make JR the next Joe Biden.
Unfortunately, my children are too old to want to come and watch that happen. But I'm sure that one of them would take specific joy in me getting clocked in the head with a chair.
But tell me, it'd be great TV though.
Oh yeah,
like Springer level of TV, maybe. But
absolutely,
those had to be some of the absolute hardest chair shots I've ever seen in WWE.
Mm-hmm.
That's why I was on the pay-per-view.
It's still
that's free TV kind of level stuff.
Like,
right there.
I'll watch that match still, because that was like a Survivor Series, I think.
Yeah, I can't remember. I mean, I have the DVD of Beyond the Mat, and
they taped at that.
Yeah,
they taped at that show, because the gash, you see it in that documentary. It's like, and you see Noel and Dewey.
Yeah,
Dewey crying.
They're hating it. Yeah,
Noel's now dating Frank the Clown. independent wrestler out of Chicago, and Dewey at one time wrote for WWE. I do believe he just left though. Something you'll really like, JR. I've been really obsessed with old school wrestling this week. Been really heavy on Mid Atlantic 82. A lot of Jack Briscoe.
Oh yeah.
Feud. Who else we got? What's it? Ivan and the Boogie Woogie Man.
Jimmy
Valiant.
Yeah.
Yeah. Then we got young Jake the Snake Roberts with no snake. Oh man, I'll tell you what, it's some classic shit. Don Morocco turning on Wahoo. Was it Wahoo?
Wahoo McDaniel? Yeah.
Was that who he turned on? Because Wahoo became the U.S. Mid-Atlantic U.S. champ. Anyways, guys, the point is, if you started Attitude Era or even the 90s, it is worth going back and watching this old stuff and watching what these guys did and just old school wrestling and because it was all about the story then. Really was. Watching Jack Briscoe in a match and Piper working the same leg almost the whole match.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
There was another wrestling documentary that just came out. I think it's on Amazon Prime, called 350 Days.
Yeah, that's a good one to watch, guys.
It is fantastic. And this is about these guys that Ace is talking about that are out, and it's 350 days because that's how many days a year they wrestled. And when you think about that and think about going from, Chicago to shithole town on Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and just the whole idea of it, and a lot of the folks that they talk to have passed, so it's neat to be able to see that as well. Holy cow! That's a dog.
Look at this! Is he full grown?
No, not yet, but he's getting there. But he's giving me gray hairs, guys. I found a gray hair yesterday because of him. He's tough. I'll tell you that right now. A baby is nothing compared to a puppy. A puppy. I'm new to this, so I'll ask y'all right now. I put a poll on my Instagram. I said, would you rather take care of a baby or a puppy? And majority of the people said a baby because these puppies are tough.
Yeah.
Would have never guessed. They get tough when they get old too.
That's an adorable looking puppy, though.
Well, thank you. They get tough. They get tough when they get old. You said?
Fuck yeah! That's the reason I had to leave, because my dipshit son didn't feed the dog, and the dog comes down to who knows he knows is going to feed it.
Yeah. That doesn't sound like the dog is the problem in that equation.
Yeah, but the dog. So here's the thing: the dog has issues. The dog is super needy, and oh my god, super needy, and just it's we can't leave the house or the dog goes insane. Tom's been over. The dog will flip out. I'll come home, and if the dog is here and hears something, it just starts whining.
Mm-hmm.
So the wife ran to go take the son to daycare this morning, right? And then I take a shower. The dog is with me, and the dog is in the bathroom with me as I'm taking a shower. So I'm thinking nothing of it. At one point in time, this puppy had left for a brief moment. I once again thought nothing of it. I run downstairs after my shower. Boom, piece of shit right there, right? Spot right there. Boom. Now the basement's unfinished, so it's not like the end of the world. It's just right there. But what I do is I clean it out, right? I clean it out, and then I leave. I'm gone for the rest of the day. Around this is probably 8:30 in the morning. Around 2-3 in the afternoon, wife FaceTimes me. She goes, I found four more pieces of shit downstairs. I go, oh, really? Interesting. And it's like he peed spot on here, but then, no, not peed, he shit. And then he also took a shit on the blanket downstairs. And realistically, once again, top shelf, you weren't here earlier. This house damn near burned down because when I'm in tunnel vision, I don't notice anything else. And so as I cleaned that shit earlier, I'm sitting here applauding myself that I found it. Come to find out that there was more, and if she never would have found it, we'd be living in shit right now down there. I mean, Would have never found out.
It's rough, man, because you know what? You get attached to them too, though. And then when they die, it's like,
it's like you shit on the rug. Oh, but you're so cute.
Yeah, it is.
Sleeps, he sleeps with us now. You know what I mean? Like he literally like I'm like on the edge of the bed now because he sleeps on the bed with us, and I've gotten to the point already. We've only had it for a little over 2 months. It sucks because I think I fall in love easy. I am deep down in love with the dog, even though I feel like I'll cancel Christmas on the dog and get rid of it today if I could.
I love that. How much do you want to get rid of that dog? I'll cancel fucking Christmas. No hesitation. Let's just do it right now. What the fuck, Santa Claus? Oh, that's great. Okay. We're going to get ready to wrap up, but I got to say this. Next week, like JR said, our guest that we had planned gonna not come and join us. Got some stuff going on, so she's gonna go deal with all that. And we wish her nothing but the best. We'll get her back on somewhere down the road. So JR, Tommy had a really good idea. So this is what we're gonna do. A lot of our past guests, we talk to them a lot still, so we're gonna just make one big giant group messenger with all our past guests, Tommy, and then next week we're going to just pop a link in there and say, hey, come on by and say happy holidays. We know Tommy might have some limited time to join us because he will be out of town for Christmas with families. JR and I are lonely and have no one, so we'll be here. Yeah, so that's the plan for next week. Tom, if you can make it, we'd love it. If not, we understand.
Well, what we'll be looking for, Tom, is 5 I already forgot all 3 of them, but 5.
Maybe just do one of each because we don't know how many people are going to agree to come on.
Well, so if it's here's the thing. So if it's only 2 of them can come on, then we're fucked.
I'm worried that like half of the Iowa people are going to all want to come on. And
that's fine.
We're not going to have enough time to do.
Sure, we will.
5 for everybody.
Sure, we will. I didn't give a shit.
Well, I did talk to Bryce and to Shank, and I know the boys want to be back on here just to say hello to you gentlemen. So I'm sure,
we're happy that the idea was 5 biggest stories of 2022, 5 biggest disappointments, 5
JR. Okay, give me your 5 biggest stories for 2022. Give me your 5.
I'm not going to do it now. I'm going to save it for next week.
JR, they should just do one.
Yeah, I don't even remember 5 big stories from 2020.
Oh, I remember that. I remember there was Vince McMahon retired. That was one. I don't want one because then everybody's going to say, that's the only one. Well, okay, we're going to just say that, and then 25 people say Vince McMahon left. And then now we're fucked because how long does that take? 10 minutes.
JR got his sign taken away. That was a big story in 2020.
Oh, that was a big story. That was a huge story. That was the biggest disappointment of 2022. I was going to say the brawl out is another one.
I think Logan Paul in the ring is a big one for me, man. I was impressed.
That was a surprise. Absolutely.
I'm ready for him to come back.
I am too. I'm shocked. He won me over, definitely.
I love it. Well, Timmy, you were on this week, but feel free. You'll be in that chat group, so feel free to hop on for a few minutes next week, however much just hop on. It's going to be a clusterfuck, but we're going to have fun with it.
I also, by the way, I just ran the numbers. Mm-hmm. Tim Nela here was our 25th member of the Tom Club as far as competing in the game there. So thank you very much, Tim, for reaching that milestone with us. That's fantastic. So that's what is the silver anniversary or something? Who knows?
By the way, we will be making a trip down to Iowa this spring or summer, when it's nicer out on a Sunday. You'll have to take some time off there, Timmy, because we're going to go down and JR is going to come, but he's going to film unless he wants to do some. I don't know if he does though.
Which what are we talking about?
Tommy and I are going to get in the ring with old Daddy Decent there and learn a couple things in the ring.
Yeah, I'm probably not going to do that. Just because Sting is 2 years older than me, I'm still not going to fucking do that.
That's why I said you could film it.
Yeah,
No, I
I'll
love
do that.
you guys' promo videos. I really do. I think who's the guy? Is it Bryce Jordan that kicked you in the nuts?
Fuck that guy.
I mean,
That guy.
twice. He's kicked him in the nuts twice. Do we have the video up for that? Do we have that ready to go?
Yeah, guys, this is the Thunderdome, and it's a fantastic venue. I've already looked around. We'll show you a little bit more later. I'm going to hit the can quick. You can come in with me if you want, to a certain point, right? But, gosh, it's like a ladies' room, men's room, and it's kind of like mirrors and stuff. And anyway, I'm going to block. Let's try a couple here. Block. Busy. It's a busy place, and but I got to use that. I got to use one of these.
Gotcha, fucker! Boom! That's right! Everywhere you'll never expect! Gotcha, Jimmy! Fuck you, JR! That's right, man! Let's go have a drink, baby!
Oh, he left. He left.
Hey, the most underrated part of that video is Top Shelf. Let's go have a drink, baby.
Hey, I got to reward the guy for doing the hard work. I mean, Bryce, he had to hide in there for so long. I can't imagine the shit smells he had to endure just to get this glorious golden top shelf moment, if you will.
Here's another thing that doesn't get played enough on this show.
Have you heard of John Russell, the oldest guy on Twitch? He's a little grumpy and he begs for subs and bits. He's live from someone's basement where he goes on pissy rants. He could die while on the air, sitting in his underpants. Follow and sub to Russellmania. John Russell loves you.
That's what I'm talking about.
You look constipated in that picture.
I can do that. That's a industrial photo, ladies and gentlemen, and it's been used with purpose, and I purposely look that way because that's the mean, grouchy look that I go for in many cases.
You
but
look
that
like
is
Fat Elvis. Go fuck yourself.
No, not any. Really? Are you kidding me? No, that's Fat Evil Knievel. Know your fucking jumpsuits, bitch.
Still a jumpsuit.
You guys are gonna be stars. I mean, I'm not even joking. You guys are hilarious. I guess once again, Top Shelf, you weren't here earlier, but even if I didn't know you guys, I would still tune in every Tuesday. Like I legitimately tune in. My son and I, we watch together. I'm constantly commenting, and I've just watched the evolution of what you guys have done because, like, I think this is my third or fourth time on the show, and I think I've been doing this with you guys for like a little over 2 years now, probably.
Yeah, you were here before Tom.
And I genuinely enjoy, and you guys genuinely make me laugh constantly. Like those two videos, I haven't seen that second video, but that first video, I can watch that over and over, and I will laugh every single time.
Fuck off.
But like, hey, you're my opponent. See, I'm working it already.
I know. Hey, so let me ask you this though, before you go too far.
Oh, you're fine.
Have you given Jell-O the opportunity to try some very virgin fresh snow with a little Nestle's milk chocolate?
Not happening.
Come on, it's delicious.
Like I said, Nerd D said it best when you first told us that, and that is, I don't know if I should laugh at you or be sad for how poor your childhood was.
No, I think his actual quote was, "You ever have those moments where you realize how poor your friends were?"
Yeah.
I was like, "Oh yeah," and it's
the key is were. Come on now.
No one had that as dessert, bro.
Yeah, they did.
Well, you're gonna have plenty of opportunities to do that apparently tomorrow, as we're gonna get like 4 to 8 inches up here. So
multiple times, it's delicious. Hold on, maybe that's toxic. No, I was gonna say. See, he ate that high as shit. High as shit. No, it's delicious. The Toxic Haze dog is my nephew. He probably had that. His mom remembers eating that. I don't think he's around anymore. Maybe
we live a top shelf life over here, JR. We don't do all that. I mean, come on.
Tim, you got anything you want to promote? I don't know what you have going on outside of selling houses like a mad fool.
Yeah, no, I mean, realistically, I always just love being a part of this because when it comes down to it, for a guy like me, not only do I love pro wrestling, I love the comedy, and no, I mean, I don't even come here to promote anything because realistically, I mean, all I can really say is follow me on Instagram. I'll say that. I mean, I think that's probably where I do a lot of my stuff, and no, I mean, life is good, man. Like once again, I just love being on here with you guys. You guys are hilarious.
Well, you are a honorary member of the 2 Count. You'll always be welcome on this show. We appreciate you coming out here.
Can I be like an honorary? What can we come up with? Like, we have to get something clever. Like, I want to be like Sami Zayn of this.
You're 2C.
Ooh,
2C?
Ooh, I like that. Top Shelf, that was good.
The 2C Club?
I mean, I wish I
Top
could take
Shelf
credit
did
for
not come up with it. That was me.
That was some
was
Vince Russo writing right there. I like that, JR.
All right. I like it. You are a 2C member. Do you boys got any shows to promote? We already talked about how great you did this weekend there, Tommy.
Oh, thank you. No, nothing until the 30th in Winona. So,
What are you doing in Winona?
I don't know. It's a pub and grub thing. I don't find out until like next week or whatever. Jared is going to send out the information or whatever.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope it goes well for you. Logan Nielsen's at Big Boobs on New Year's Eve. So I'll be up in Alexandria on New Year's Eve.
I was going to say, cool. Do you have a show on New Year's Eve? Like, nobody knows.
Yeah.
Andrea?
New Year's Eve. New Year's Eve is like the big hit for New Year's Eve is like WrestleMania for comics. You know, that's where you make the big bucks. That's the big paycheck.
And you'll be where again?
The Broadway Ballroom in Alexandria, Minnesota. There might be 4 people who know of Alexandria, Minnesota that are watching, but I don't care.
I've been there a bunch of times. Love Alexandria.
There you go. Yeah, otherwise I think we're I don't have any. I'll tell you what. The one thing I know coming up that everyone should watch, and that is that there's going to be an episode of is it the is it Stories with Briscoe and Bradshaw? Either way, Jerry Briscoe, JBL, they have their wonderful YouTube show / podcast, and in an upcoming episode here in the next few weeks, Wes Briscoe, Jerry's son, also one of my close friends, did the show. We'll be on the show with them. Apparently, they talk about the Briscoe and Big A show because there is a plan to relaunch that eventually here soon.
Yay!
We're just working some things out. But when that drops, everybody go show support to Wes. And just show support to Jerry and JBL.
Plus, it's a great show.
It's an amazing show where you will hear some of the best stories with some of the most legendary guests. They've had Wade Boggs was on there. They've had every legend on there. They've had current talent. It's just a really great show. So check it out. That's coming up. Yeah, next week we'll have a little holiday show. Random guests. We don't know who's going to come. It's going to be a surprise to all of to me and JR as well. Come next Tuesday night. So join us for that. And then again, we'll when we get to the new year here, we'll announce our plans for the Rumble. But we do have a special plan for everybody for Royal Rumble night with the 2 Count.
Yeah, y'all gotta start rolling out some merch for 2023, man. Let's get some merch out here. I need some merch.
Well, technically we have a website. It just doesn't get advertised that much, but you're not wrong, Timmy. It might be time to get some new designs or something going, something fresh. Something that Tommy could put input in on too, since he's not had any input on our merch. Because we did it before him.
I mean, you might be seeing some Top Shelf merch come soon enough, so we shall see. I mean, these guys probably fucking hate it, want their own cuts, but, whatever.
Oh, no, we still get a cut.
Yeah.
It's got a 2 Count logo on it.
Yeah, because without us, what the fuck are you going to do with it?
Oh, Top Shelf taking that Mandy Rose approach. He's trying to get his.
No, ain't nobody paying $30 a month to see him take his dick out, okay?
You don't know that, sir. There might be a market
You're
for
right.
this.
There
ginger.
is some kink out there. There's some kink out there. You're right.
There might be a phone call waiting for you from Jimmy Kimmel, too, but that's not fucking true either.
JR, I really hope that when I come to your show on January 21st,
Oh
at
yeah,
Goonies,
he's coming down.
that there's no moment for me to heckle you, because I will absolutely fucking destroy you in front of everybody there. And it's going to be the best time of my life and the absolute worst of yours. Don't you dare talk to me like I'm a fucking child. I can literally kick the shit out of you and verbally beat you down. So just remember, I have allowed you to live in the sphere that is the top shelf atmosphere. Okay. So just go ahead, sign off the show, and we will call it a truce. How about that?
Quit praying to Jesus over there. Yet.
Yeah, I
I'm
mean,
not
yeah,
praying.
he's so used
I'm
to it.
holding back rage right now, okay? Because
What
JR
kind
just
of
thinks he can
rage?
disrespect me
What
like
kind
this.
of rage, dude? No, this is not. This is
Sign
you.
up, JR.
This is you getting a wake up call from your delusion.
First of all, you don't end the show, motherfucker. Okay, hold the fuck up. Anyway,
That's why I said end the show, JR. I don't know.
but it's
he
not
wants to
time
do his
for him
little
to end
outros.
it's not time for him to end. The
You
show.
wait until it's the right goddamn time. What this is why you don't get to end the show.
And you know what, Tom? We stuck up for you. You know how many people in the chat room when we came on was like, "Oh my god, they finally replaced Tom with Tim," and we were like, "No."
People were loving it.
Didn't happen.
They were loving it.
He's
Tom.
out buying a car.
And we had to tell him, we had to say,
like,
this
no,
is, no, it's a
not
little
true.
joke. It's a little joke, but he's busy taking care of a life event, which is buying a car. And we didn't even know that you took that $2,000 and paid for it cash. We didn't know that. But we stuck up for you, and they were going to vote. They wanted to Elon Musk your ass. They were going to vote, and it was going to be whatever. Would you rather have Tim? Would you rather have Tom? And we were going to abide by it.
Just saying.
Well, maybe you should have done that.
Just
And
saying.
also, please, don't ever tell me when it's time to end the show. I
Anyway.
know when it's time to end the show. You don't tell me when it's time to end the show.
Real quick though, everybody, if you are watching and you're in the Minnesota area, hey, please be safe over these next few nights. I think we're all getting ready to kind of hunker down. Tommy, good luck traveling, bro. I don't know how that's gonna work out for you this
When do
week,
you leave, dude?
Good
I'm
luck.
supposed to be flying out on Friday, so
Ooh.
it should be on the tail end, and we should be good. But I have every expectation to spend a long fucking day or so at the airport.
You might not even get out.
I know. I'm aware.
All
I've
right,
been
well,
looking at changing flights, or maybe changing directions, or even maybe fucking taking a drive to Chicago or whatever. So
Don't go to Chicago.
Mm-mm.
yeah, they're gonna get.
They about to get
What?
like 17, 18.
Yeah.
I know they're
50,
going to
60
get
off.
bad, but I'm saying like drive
Just drive to
tomorrow,
Texas.
try and get in front of this and get
Just
to
drive down to
Chicago.
Texas
Maybe
right
just
now.
Why don't you just see if you can get out earlier, like tomorrow?
You got
'cause-
that fancy car.
because it's going to basically be starting at like 3 o'clock in the morning here. So getting out tomorrow is basically fucking trying to be pointless in the cities here.
Really? We're not getting
No. It's
6, 7 o'clock tomorrow night.
It's going to snow 5 to 8 inches up here. And then
Right.
it's not going to get bad, and it's still until it starts getting windy. Remember, I used to be on the de-ice team. They got 25 or 30 snowplows smacking that runway. If you can get out tomorrow, I would ask if you try to get out tomorrow.
Yeah,
Are
I
you
mean, we'll see.
Delta?
I'm still supposed to work on Thursday too. So
Well, tell them to fuck off. It's Christmas.
They've already
They
canceled
ain't gonna be
school on
there.
Thursday.
Yeah, they closed school here on Thursday already.
week back in my day, we used to go to school
Oh, you
every
want
day
to-
of the year.
No, you want to
Didn't
talk
matter.
about week? They canceled school. What was it? Well, this was last week, I think. The week before they canceled on a Friday, where we got like nothing, and then Monday, Tuesday, we got piss pounded. And they didn't shut anything down. This town's the dumbest.
They ever cancel school back in your day?
No, they. In fact,
Would it matter? He would just eat his way to school with the Nesquik powder.
That's right. It was like a big old plow.
What a buffet!
JR just walks out for school with a giant spoon, like, all right.
So I grew up down in Des Moines, Timmy, and there was only one time in my entire life that they canceled school, and that was only for 7 inches. But it was in April. and they had put all the sand and all the snow plows away, and it was too hard for the but there were drifts. It was very windy, and my father was stuck out on the interstate, and ended up not coming home for 2 days. Well, at least that's what he said, and there were snowdrifts that were 6 to 7 feet tall that went up to the roof. So that was pretty bad, but that was more about the blowing of the snow than the actual snow.
That's what she said.
You look puzzled.
I'm 7 inches blowing. I'm not trying to take it there, but yeah, I'm listening.
No, you're not. You're judging.
Hey, don't talk to Tim like that, sir.
Don't tell me when it's time to end the show.
It's hard not to judge when you're
wrap it up. We're already well past the fucking time. It's like
15 minutes, but this is bonus shit for these people that watch us. And I love them. Bonus shit is it's our Christmas present to you. And this is some of the best content we've ever had.
Which, by the way, Merry Christmas, guys.
Yeah.
Please, everybody, have a good Christmas.
To all of our Jewish friends, happy Hanukkah.
Mm-hmm.
Why was that funny to me?
I don't know, because I said Hanukkah.
Hanukkah.
So, Tim, you probably didn't do this with Jell-O. You probably didn't have Elf on the Shelf or any of that kind of shit, did you?
Did we do Elf on the Shelf? No, I don't know. I don't know.
No,
I've seen it,
my daughter-in-law decided to do it with my grandkids, and it's ridiculous. But I thought for our Jewish friends, they could do Jew on a Pew.
JR, let me save you the energy for next time. For the next time. I'm black.
I know that.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know what an Elf on a Shelf is.
Elf on the Why? How do you not know?
I've heard of it. I have zero clue what it means, though.
Tim's going to be the guy who does the dress up as Grinch when Jell-O's a little older and take his presents.
So here's the Elf on the Shelf.
That's what Tim's going to do.
Is that a poor joke, Ace? What are you fucking talking about here, you fucking racist?
No,
And the show.
How have you not
ending the show? You don't tell me when to end the show. A man asked the question about the Elf on the Shelf, for God's sakes, and he deserves an answer.
I've heard of it, but what is it exactly?
Spindly, scary-looking fucking elf with a smiling face, and then the idea is that the elf is watching the children all the time, and the elf moves about. It during the day, they're watching, but at night, the elf moves about the house and changes its position. It has a little fun sometimes, and so that's why, oh, look, it's on the shelf. Oh, look, it's in the bathroom. Oh, look, and the children love it, I guess.
This thing just stares at JR. It's just in his room at night staring at him.
We don't subscribe to that. We're not doing that over here.
I wouldn't do it. I mean, I think it's ridiculous.
Let's be real honest here. There's only one shelf that matters, and it's the top shelf. And I don't care where the elf is.
Wait. You should totally put it. Well, it doesn't matter because by the time we come back, Christmas.
Yeah, it won't be Christmas anymore.
And you might not even.
Did you fuck that up?
God damn it, Tom! Why couldn't you think about this ahead of time?
It
would have been perfect. Elf
that
on the
is
top
so
shelf.
your gimmick too.
Elf on the top shelf. Damn it, Tom.
Top shelf, elf on a shelf. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, but not if he has like red hair and like the.
No, if you had an elf that looked just like you.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
We'll
and
even throw a blue turtleneck on him, like the
now you're talking about, and you could.
You're not going to waste a good top shelf with the elf.
Yeah.
It's not going to happen.
Yeah, we already got an elf here anyways. It's called Ace. We're okay. All right.
Fucking damn cool elf right here.
Sure. I didn't say you weren't. I'm just saying you're the shortest one here. That's all I'm saying.
Shortest one here.
You're our elf.
Fucking best one here.
Say whatever you need to.
Minus 10.
Don't lie to yourself though.
Hey,
it's like I told Mark this weekend. I was like, I couldn't lie to Tom anymore. I actually had to go see him perform this weekend.
Yeah, my cat's having hernia surgery on Friday night.
Shit, my cat lost his glasses.
I wanted to go. I texted Ace that day, and then he said that like we had to get tickets or something in advance, and I was like, man, it's gonna be last minute. It ain't gonna happen. But I wanted
Well,
to go. So
I told
bad.
Tom because he was like, "Is Timmy coming?" I'm like, "He's at a party with a football team right now." So
I said I was gonna bring the boys. I wanted to bring the boys. I kept on saying like, my guys performing, but then I was like, damn, we got to get these tickets. And I'm not trying to get up there and get turned back around.
I wasn't there Friday, but it was pretty full Saturday. It was a good crowd.
Yeah. I mean, you don't need to get tickets in advance. That was a bold-faced lie. But
no, I didn't say that. I just said that you need tickets to get it. Like you have to pay to go in.
Yeah. I mean, I probably could have gotten you in, but like the rest of the guys, I've been like, you guys got to pay. I don't know who the fuck you are. Tim, he's cool. Ace, I got him in for free because I felt bad for him. He was there all by himself. So like,
that's not true. First of all, I showed up by myself, but I sat with a friend. And second of all, I offered to pay, but Mark told me no.
Yeah, that's true.
Did you try to heckle him? Did you try to heckle Tom?
No.
I was the host, man. I'm not out there for enough time. And all my stuff is killer. You know this. Don't fucking say that you can heckle me when it's fucking great material 100% of the time.
I just want to
know if the shoe were on the other foot.
I told Tom, I was like, it'd be fun if when you were headlining, he featured and I hosted, and we just make it a 2-count night.
That would be awesome, and I'll be happy to talk to Mark about doing that.
Yeah, maybe not.
I'm not missing this January 20th, 21st thing though. Like I feel like everybody in here is gonna be there. I need to be there for that.
Well, if you want to go on Saturday, I know there's already a party of 40 or 50 that's booked in.
Ooh.
Fuck. Well, that's the night that the radio people were all planning on going. So.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Well, then just
pack this motherfucker out. Let's make a second show on a Saturday for no reason.
I mean, I get paid the same whether it's full on Friday or Saturday. So everybody pile in on Saturday.
All right, there it is. All right, guys, we'll be back next week. Me and JR for sure. Tom might or might not be there.
I'll stop by.
Don't tell me when to end the show, though. Don't you dare. That's my job is to end the show.
Yeah, Tim. And then, Tom. It's been Tim,
what did Tim do?
He's a cordial guest. He's been one of the kindest guests we've had on this week.
Yeah. Tim, thanks for coming by. As always, it was a pleasure to see you Sunday. That was the first time I've ran into you in a while, man. It's been too long. So, like I said, we'll send you the link for next week. Feel free to stop in and say hello.
Oh, yeah, I'll stop in.
We're going to bring you to a Madhouse show this summer. Tell the wifey that we're going to steal you for a night and maybe a day because it's going to be out of town.
I'm gonna get in the ring.
But we're gonna bring you to a Madhouse show because I think you would love it. So, yeah, guys, Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas, everybody. And Tim, enjoy that little man and enjoy the Christmas with him because gosh,
and
they
thank your wife
so quick, and then they turn out looking like Tom.
His son's not going to look like me. What kind of bullshit?
No, you know what? Don't tell me to end the show.
Fucking
just don't do it.
Fucking jokes.
It's not your job to tell me when to end the show.
Hey, man, if Jello in like 10 years is all of a sudden super pale and red hair.
No, that's not what I meant at all. You fucking guys, Jesus.
So fat.
He's going to grow up and be a douchebag. That's what but you're a good parent. You're a good father. He's fuck Tom.
You're calling me a douchebag?
No, I didn't. I said he could end up like a douchebag. I didn't call you one.
Bravo to the 10 people who have stuck out.
Because they watch because they think Tom's going to lose his shit at any moment. Tom's going to roll up his sleeves because when he's going to roll and start monkeying with them sleeves. That's when shit's going to break. Look, they're at half mast now.
I really, the one show I missed. The sleeves up thing. I don't know. All right, guys. JR, it's time to go.
Don't tell me.
Don't tell him.
I say when it's time to end the show.
Team Fancy Ketchup reunites just to get the fucking piss out of fucking JR here.
All right, come on, man. I need to go to bed.
I know, I do too. And folks, it's time to end the show. Be safe. Happy Christmas. We'll see you next week. Bye-bye.